Yo, we got live reactions tonight. Blues, Flyers. Will the Flyers finally win one while we're watching them? Is that a possibility? I mean, we're gonna find out. Also talking lots of trade rumors surrounding Claude Giroux and the Philadelphia Flyers. Maybe we'll find out who our untouchables are. Maybe your untouchables. Let's see. Let's get this show going. Let's go. Let's go.
Let's go! This ain't the rock night! Oh, this game he stink!
Oh, shit!
It's gone!
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a brand new edition of the Hockey Happy Hour right here on A2DRadio.com. I am Matt Sensudi, along with the Darkwing Brian Daley.
What's going on, everybody?
And tonight we are brought to you by Manscaped. Listen, gentlemen, we got to have a serious talk here for a minute. What is the one thing in this world that the ladies love? Confidence. But what do they not love, Brian?
You don't like that junk funk?
Yeah, no junk funk. That the best thing for you to do is to get rid of that as soon as possible. And you could do that with Manscaped. You get 20% off and you get free shipping with the code at A2D at manscaped.com and unlock your confidence and always use the right tools for the job with Manscaped.
They got that lawnmower 4.0, which is amazing. They got ball deodorant. They got the little Vibe, little crop spray. Been out for a long day. Girl seems a little antsy when you get home. Just go a little tss. Get yourself feeling delicious. Good to go. Good to go. It's Manscaped. Promo code A2D. It's 20% off. Get to them now.
All righty. And opening up our comments, Benny's Nation saying, welcome to Misery Loves Company. That's actually a good idea to pretty much be the undertag for the show right now, because it has been a very miserable experience for the Philadelphia Flyers, who are coming off of 3 straight losses, I believe it is, or 4 straight, I think. Anyway, it's been a rough stretch for the Flyers. They have not seen a win since right before the All-Star break, when they got 2 wins in a row, and we were lucky enough to actually be able to live react to that last victory against the Winnipeg Jets. However, this past Tuesday, we got to react to them losing to the Penguins. Maybe we could get a little bit of some good luck. Maybe some good juju will start going here as they face the St. Louis Blues tonight, but we'll see.
Definitely need some good juju against a tough St. Louis Blues team, playoff contender. We know what they bring. They bring physicality. They bring speed. They got lots of scoring. Tarasenko is showing that he still got it. Some of the younger guys like Jordan Kyrou, really stepping up, showing that he can play in this league, and they really got the work cut out for him. Flyers are really going to need to bring it tonight, especially on the physicality aspect. They're going to have to answer to a lot of bigger guys. And obviously, Braden Shen coming home is a guy that we know can be physical. So they're gonna have to finish their checks against this Blues team tonight.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. I mean, Risto is in the lineup, so there is that going on for us.
I mean, that's going to help. That's definitely going to help. But I mean, we're still talking about a much bigger St. Louis Blues team here.
We got Jesse saying, "What's up? What's up, Jesse?"
Yo, Jesse, what's going on, bud?
We got Rob chiming in. What's up, boys? What's up, Robbie?
What's going on, Pove?
Yeah, Rob, unfortunately, is not able to join us tonight. He had to send in his laptop for repairs, but he'll be back next week because, you know what? Every once in a while, you need a break from this misery of the Philadelphia Flyers. Every once in a while, you just need to get away from it all and just explore your other interests. And I don't blame him. Just get away from it. You can only deal with so much bullshit after it's just too much to handle.
I feel that. I mean, my break is with the Ducks, and They just spanked Vancouver the other night. So I know I'm sure Dan will be
Yeah,
avoiding the chat tonight, especially since I'm rocking my Raquel jersey tonight, which might be one of the last times I get to rock it wearing as he is on the trade block as well.
Gotcha. Chucks, what's going on, brother?
Yo, Chucks.
Rob saying Flyers won't be able to match Blues' physicality and D-men who jump on the play, which, yeah.
That one guy wearing 55 you got to worry about, and then there's another guy on the other side wearing 47 you got to worry about too. So that's a very, very tough first defensive pairing. Actually, it looks like it's Falk and Parenko.
Interesting. Got Ryan Swoop chiming in. What's going on, Ryan?
Ryan, my guy.
Yeah, Rob's saying I got to stop spreading his business. I was just, covered for you there, man. Just letting you know, just letting the people know. It's like, hey, listen, you needed some R&R. Listen, man, I don't blame you. This season, everybody needs R&R from it. All right, so
I like that the Flyers defense already is starting to, allow Marty Jones early on here to see a couple shots. That's going to be key moving forward for this team. He's got to see everything.
And tonight's poll question: do you believe that Claude Giroux will be traded to the Blues? Agree or disagree? Obviously, there's been a lot of back and forth on everything. Claude Giroux supposedly gave out a list of teams that he would like to be traded to, Colorado being the favorite, but then the happy alternatives would have been Minnesota and St. Louis. However, though, and a big turnover here, but nothing came of it. But unfortunately, then Claude Giroux walked it back, saying that, no, there was never a list. I never had a meeting with Fletcher. Then all of a sudden, it's been reported that apparently his agent has the green light to start shopping for deals. So it's a whole confusing mess going on, which makes me kind of believe a theory that the three teams that were mentioned are not the teams that are going to get Giroux, that there's another team they're talking about, and they're throwing everybody off the scent. That's the only thing I can think of as to why all this shit's going around. But anyway.
Well, I mean, this is that time of year, though, man. It's trade rumor city, and nobody really knows exactly what's going on. And everything we're seeing right now is speculation. And as we do here at ATD, we're not reporters. We're by the fan for the fan. So we're trying to figure everything else out with the rest of the fan base. So hearing Giroux come out and say that he has not talked to Fletcher kind of cleared a lot of things up, at least for me anyway. Still leaves a lot of questions to what he wants. I mean, his response saying, and I'm going to paraphrase this because I don't remember what he said verbatim, is that he wants to be here. He's going to focus on being here. And the last thing that he's going to worry about right now is worrying about a trade. He wants to get his team back on track. So, which I love that about him because he's a gamer. As much as people don't like him, he's a gamer. It's what he does. He steps up when he needs to, and some of these other guys really need to start stepping up. But all these rumors with G, we're not going to know the truth until a deal's finally done.
Yeah, I mean, right now at the end of the day, it's going to be an ongoing thing. I mean, obviously, it's going to come down to the wire because the Flyers are going to try and get the best offer possible. And, the only way you do that is by being patient in these kind of circumstances. So, I mean, I don't expect Giroux to get moved unless the deal is just that good. You can't pass it up. But I do expect it to go down to the wire. So we may not see anything until maybe the week or maybe a couple weeks before the deadline. Maybe not even a couple weeks. Maybe that's too far out. So they may just wait a little bit on these deals if there are any on the table right now.
Yeah, I mean, nobody has leverage either way, so it's not like the Flyers can sit there and be like, well, yeah, we got like three other guys asking about them. I mean, nobody really has leverage yet, and there's still a ton of time before the trade deadline to get something done. I know Giroux's playing a little bit better the last couple games than he has before, but he's still one of the more consistent players on this roster, and his production is still there. Dude can still move. He can still shoot, but it's up to the rest of these guys to really step up and get this team back in it. I mean, Drew's got the puck now behind the net. He needs a shooter. I mean, honestly, I think his play has been a lot better since being put on the same line as Cam Atkinson because he's got that guy who's going to shoot.
Yeah. No, I got you on that one. I do agree on that. And Anthony's saying, hey, guys, let's go Flyers.
Anthony, what's up, buddy?
Yeah, what's up, brother? And Ryan's saying disagree. So he does not think that Giroux will be traded to the Blues. Rob's saying,
if there's any truth behind what they said, I do think Colorado might be that team that lands them. Do you think it'll be them or Minnesota of the three teams?
Rob's saying Minnesota's
the best.
Oh, I'm fine and well rested. My laptop needed to go visit the doc. And Ryan saying, what kind of defense was that? That's the Flyers defense, Ryan. That's just how they are. They have to get
about that 3-on-1. That was pretty shiesty, but that was a nice little move to back into Shen. Shen got a good shot off.
Yeah,
they just need to be better. They definitely need to be better. This is a very tough Blues team, and they're fast for as big as they are.
Yeah, and Moira, saying, hey boys, long time. This poll is loaded. Doesn't matter if I agree or disagree. He should be traded. Dude deserves a cup. Flyers did nothing to help him for that. And I agree. Flyers failed him, and now it's time for him to go pursue a cup. If that's what he wants to do, he may not even want to do that, honestly. But if he does, which I would assume that there's a part of him that would, almost every player does. But in the end, no matter what, the Flyers failed him in terms of putting a team around him. They've never done it, and now it's come to this. So it's a shame that this is where it's come to, but it is what it is.
I mean, he controls his destiny in that aspect. I mean, if he really wants that cup, he's going to be the one that says, hey, send me to a contender.
No,
if not, he's going to say, hey, send me somewhere else. Or he's just going to say, hey, keep me here. I don't want to go anywhere. This is Philly. This is the organization I grew up in. This is where I want to be. This is the city I love. It's the organization I love, blah, 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 all that other stuff. But Lawton.
Yeah, he had a great chance. Unfortunately, Bennington was able to get on top of the puck.
Double entendre here. You couldn't get it up enough.
That's not a problem if you go to Manscaped. But
not a problem if you go to Manscaped. Not at all.
And Rob saying, disagree. He's Rocky Mountain bound. If he goes anywhere, he can always decline and choose to stay in Philly. Better re-sign cheap then.
I still like if we're talking, and I know Colorado has some really good younger players, but I'll be honest with you, some of the ones that I want are the ones we can't attain because they're like the core guys. They're the core nucleus of that Colorado success that they're having out there. Minnesota, I think, has some of the best prospect pool too to choose from. Like we were talking about, what was it, last week or 2 weeks ago?
Something like that.
I would love to see them try and attain, and not saying that it would happen, but going after like a Marco Rossi or going after Nico Sturm or Ryan O'Rourke, who is the guy that I really, if they do decide to, if he does want to go to Minnesota, I want Ryan O'Rourke in a deal more than any of the other two, because he is a future captain in this league and he's a power play guy. Great two-way defender. He's got a lot of speed, a lot of offensive potential. That's who I would want in a as my key piece in the return deal for Claude Giroux. As we're looking here in first period, go into a break. See what we got going on in the chat here. Ryan thinks he's going to Calgary. I mean, that's not a bad option. They have some younger talent, and I'm sure a lot of people, if they start hearing that Calgary rumor, is going to come up with, somehow, some way, you got to get Johnny Gaudreau back in that. But Johnny's not the guy I would want back in that. I like Johnny. Don't get it twisted. He's just white noise into a lineup that's already the same kind of style of play that he already has. The only thing upside that Johnny has to the other guys is he's a lot faster. He's very good skater.
This is going to be the continuous thing for his entire career, honestly. Yeah, it's the Mike Trout thing. It's going to be the same thing.
To Mo's point, she says the only reason I could see him staying is because his wife is from here, if I'm not mistaken. I'll be honest with you, Mo, I don't know where she's from. She could be a Philly girl. I mean, he's been here since he was, 18, right? 18, 19?
Maybe, I'm not sure,
More
but whether that's true or not, either way though, it's still tough though. It's still tough to you know tell your family, okay, we got to go move now. You know what I mean? After they've loved being in the area and have been living here for so long, it's not easy
not
to
even
just
necessarily
pick up
though. I
and
mean,
leave.
he's going to be free agent, he could always come back. So there's that.
And
Just
that's
be like, hey, I'm
true.
going to Calgary for a couple months. I'll be back at the end of the season. Hey,
That's
I'm going to
true.
Minnesota. Hey, I'm going to Edmonton. So I mean, she could still stay here. He's still got family around here that could still take care of him. Raska, I don't think Campy's going anywhere, bro. If anyone's getting traded right now, I think it's going to be Raquel.
And Benny's also said, I thought we were talking USFL draft. No. No. No.
The what?
No.
USFL. What is that?
Something to do with
Wait, did
football.
that fold?
I don't know, honestly. It may have.
That folded like a couple years ago.
It may have found a way to have fallen out into the dumpster somewhere, like most football leagues do half the time anymore these days.
If it's just not the NFL, it doesn't succeed. The NFL drags everything else down. Although the XFL and the NFL seem like they're gonna be putting a little something together.
Oh, what the XFL?
Good deflection by Shen there.
So Vince McMahon's going to give it a third try? Okay.
It's not even Vince McMahon anymore. It's
really? It's not even Vince?
Dwayne Johnson. Dwayne Johnson's running the XFL.
Oh, The Rock? Oh, okay. That's interesting. Benny's saying it's back. I mean, to be fair, I'm kind of happy that the XFL has a chance again because it wasn't fair what happened to them. They got fucked right out of the gate because of the pandemic. So it's kind of like, all right, that's not even their fault. It's not like that one league. What was it again? The league before the XFL that tried to compete with the NFL, and then it fell apart, and there was a scandal coming out, and nobody got paid and shit like that. I forget the name of it. Well, it had teams like the Apollos and shit like that. I forget the name of it, but it was supposed to be a pro league that was supposed to rival the NFL.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. I can't remember what it was either. I remember hearing that story.
Yeah, it was like 2-3 years ago or something like that, and I just remember how hilarious it was when that whole scandal broke. I'm like, what, you mean to tell me that some scrapped together league couldn't afford to pay its players and it sucked compared to the NFL? Wow. that's like
now the NFL sucks. So
yeah,
this thing that the NFL and the XFL are doing, it could be good for both leagues. But Raska, I'm not sure where he's going. I haven't heard much speculation on Raquel, but I got a funny feeling of the three guys that they're mentioning Anaheim trading I think it's going to be Raquel over everybody. But all three guys need a new contract, so I wouldn't be surprised to see 2 out of 3 moved. And if I'm anybody, or if I'm Pat Verbeek, I'm talking to Hampus Lindholm and getting him extended. Over Josh Manson and Ricard Raquel.
Yeah,
he hate me. I forgot about what was his name? Rod Smith. He hate me. He wound up being a Carolina Panther for a little while. He actually had I mean, I'm not saying this like he was amazing, but he had a solid NFL career, which was really surprising to see coming out of the XFL.
And Rob was wondering what league it was, either the USFL or the AAFL.
Might have been the AAFL.
I think it was the AAFL.
Rod Smart. I was close.
Anthony saying, I could see Giroux going to the Hawks, Stars, Sens, or Sharks. I don't see him going to the Sens.
I don't see him going to the Hawks either. Maybe the Sharks. Stars are a definite possibility because they are a playoff contender and they're strong as it is. But I'm not sure what they have prospect-wise because I don't want to necessarily say youth-wise. But
I mean, they have some youthful
players. The NHL ready guys. They have some good young stars there, but
they do.
They're going to be.
But I think that Giroux deal would include Tomas Hertl and would probably include maybe one other player or a few draft picks. I don't know what else the Sharks would give up for him, and I don't know if they would want to give up their youthful players, honestly, because there's still some guys that they, there's this Eklund that they sent back to Sweden. who's really good. They have Jasper Weatherby. They have Merkley. They have a
Yeah,
few
both
other.
Merkleys, actually. They got Nick and the other one, the defenseman.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm blanking on his name.
Yeah, I mean, so they have some young players, but I don't know if they want to trade them at this point. I think they're still, because some of them are still very early on in their career. Some of them are just playing their first NHL games this season, and they've been playing pretty decently. So
there's some decent hype behind Nick Merkley. I know we got to see him a little bit when he was with the Devils.
Yeah.
He's got good speed. He's got a decent shot. He's a solid middle six type of player. He's not going to set the world on fire, but he could be good for a good 12 to maybe 15 goals once he really starts to hit his prime. But I mean, most of those teams, and I mean, the only way I see Giroux getting traded is to a contender, and you only have one potential contender in there, and that's the Stars.
Yeah, and I mean, if it does go to the Stars, is that a possibility? It's not out of the realm of possibility, but yeah, I don't see the Hawks or the Sens. I'm not so sure about the Sharks, only because they're not really a contender. I mean, they're fighting to try and get back into the wild card race, but they've taken like 3 straight losses, so they haven't been doing themselves any favors. So I don't know. We're getting to that second half where it's starting to get a little bit more clear of the playoff picture. So it's hard when you got those options ahead of you. And Giroux would most likely want to go to a contender if he's got to get moved.
Yeah, Benny. I don't know if Vegas gets involved. They got a lot going on as it is. Plus, they just got Jack Eichel back, and he's looked pretty good in his first couple. He just had his first goal with the Knights. Was it 2 nights ago? Last night or 2 nights ago?
I think it was that, because Jack Eichel had just gotten done recovering, and it was a surprise that he recovered as early as he did, which was a hopeful sign actually for him coming back.
I'm kind of not surprised, because they were saying that's one of the things was it wasn't going to be a huge. It wasn't going to be like a long-term type of recovery for him. Just a matter of how things would progress after. I mean, he was on the ice like 2 weeks after, which was awesome. But to see him go to Vegas, I'm not sure. I think they're going to be a team that stands pat. I mean, if you look at their roster, they're fucking loaded.
They're also, they don't necessarily have all the cap in the world to play with, so that's the other thing too. Yeah. Not that that's an issue, because Giroux is only going to be available for 1 year, but then the thing is, it's like, do you re-sign him or do you let him walk? And honestly, if Vegas doesn't win a cup in this season, I could see them just letting Giroux walk, and then that goes back to the theory of re-signing Giroux. But I think Vegas at this point is, they're starting to get to that spot where it's like, okay, well, we don't really have the cap to re-sign this guy, and why would we move players to re-sign him if we didn't win a cup, whether he contributed or not?
Yeah, I mean, and you also got to think of it this way: what are they sending back? That's like the question, like, because they have so many big contracts right now. You got Pietrangelo up there, you got Pacioretty up there, you got Eichel up there now. You have William Karlsson, you have Marchessault, you have a bunch of them. Like, all these guys are on some fairly big contracts. You bring in another guy with a big cap hit, you got to send somebody the other way. But the question is, who would it be? Like, who do you take out of that equation? Because right now Vegas is playing amazing hockey. And they're only going to get better as Jack Eichel gets healthier and more in the game shape. But yeah, Benny, I see them putting him on the wing too. He had his best season of his career on the wing with Couturier and Yager. So I definitely see that happening with the right team. My concern is, the return for a team like Vegas that's already got a bunch of big contracts as it is.
And then
if I'm the Flyers, I'm looking to try and get a little bit younger in some aspects. I don't know if Vegas has that to be a return. Like, could Pacioretty be a return? Could be. I know they've been shopping him for the last couple of years. I mean, he might be a piece in return for a Giroux. But I think if you get Pacioretty, you're getting less back in return. I would try and see if I can go to a team that's going to give me a decent amount back for a guy like Claude Giroux. And that doesn't even necessarily need to be a Claude Giroux. Anybody else on this roster, because I've only got like maybe 5 people that I wouldn't trade, that I wouldn't even talk about trading. Everyone else is fair game.
And Frank saying, I disagree that it will be the Blues, but I do agree that G will be traded. Rob saying, if G does go, another positive aspect for him is to go back to playing in a supplemental role rather than captain, like his early days in Philly. It's true, spotlight is off of him. That might make him more dangerous, quite frankly. You know, the fact that sometimes you might forget, oh shit, they have Giroux too. You know, whereas the Flyers, Giroux's the best player. So your attention goes to him.
You put an A on his chest, and like I said before, like I've been saying this for the last couple of weeks. You let him fight out for the captain. Don't just give it to somebody. Make him earn it. Make him really step up and be like, listen, I'm not naming a captain unless somebody really steps up and proves to me that they deserve it. I'm not going to just give it away, because that's what San Jose did for a long time. And now look at Logan Couture. Logan Couture might have not been the most obvious choice, but he was the choice in my opinion. Could have given it to Brent Burns. You could have given it to Erik Karlsson. Erik Karlsson is born to see in Ottawa. He's got the experience, but they went with Logan Couture. He stepped up. So that's what I need. That's what I think the Flyers need to do. Come next season, if Giroux's not even there, hold off on naming a captain. Make him show who deserves it the most, not just giving it to a guy like Couture because he's there.
Yeah, and that's true. And then also on top of it, like you were talking about Karlsson kept getting hurt too. And Couture was not really injury issues with him. And, that made more sense. And the Blues just scored. Braden Shen, nope, they waved it off. So I guess the ref blew the whistle. So it won't count.
Yeah, I'm about 30 seconds behind you.
He may have blown the whistle, possibly. So this might just come off the board.
Giroux coming in off the post.
Let's see here. So the shot off the post, second attempt, and Jones made a great save with the paddle there. Then the opportunity there. Shen looks like he potted that one into the top corner. But
and they can't. I don't think they can review that either.
Yeah, because I'm just. Oh, the ref was waving it off. He waved off that at first. Well, it doesn't look like he's blowing the whistle, though. But he's waving it off.
Paddle there, which comes loose. I wonder if he thought he covered it and got a quick whistle, but because that puck laid flat, kind of.
Yeah.
I don't understand.
They called it a goal. So
you got to figure out what's coming.
Yeah, I mean, there was nothing that would tell me that wasn't a goal. It's just weird how.
Was he calling a cover-up? I guess he was saying it was. Hang on.
I guess they thought that maybe he had the puck covered and the ref just didn't have a chance to blow the whistle.
My guess would be he thought it hit the post.
It might have been that. That would be. Yeah, that's interesting, but nonetheless, Braden Shen, the former Philadelphia
if you look
Flyer,
where he roofs it, it kind of. Oh no! It hits the back. It hits that back post.
Yeah, but nonetheless,
I don't know why he would wave that off.
Yeah, it's very weird. Very weird. Nonetheless, though, they do call it a good goal. It is 1-0 St. Louis. Braden Shen, the former Philadelphia Flyer, gets himself a goal, and not uncharted territory. Very common here for this season. The Flyers give up the first goal. Yeah, Rob saying.
So.
Don saying, "What's up? What's up, Don?
What's up, Don? I see Bryce in the chat. What's up, Brodo?
What's up, Bryce? What's up, Brodo? What is Brodo saying? Hey guys, I have some important info to share. Unfortunately, my friend had his vehicle broken into today. He had 2 Flyers tickets sitting on the console. Whoever broke in left 4 more behind."
I'll take them. Listen, I'll take them. They might suck. I mean, it still looks like they got a lot of people in the arena.
I don't know why. I really just, I seriously hate the fact that I have to tell fans to boycott. I honestly say you should, because it's like, what's the point? But I get it. If you can't get a return, so be it. It is what it is. But for future considerations, I'd say just don't go. Like, save your money for anything else in life, because this shit fucking team and this shit organization doesn't deserve your fucking money. Anyway.
Yeah, but I mean, all that aside, they lifted the mandate. People are allowed to do a little bit more. People are going to go out and do their thing. I mean, I might be the only guy here thinking this, but I thought for the most part they've been playing better. Not clearly better enough to get the win, but they've been playing better. They're in every game. They just have no finish. They hit a certain point and they just stop playing. I mean, because a lot of the games lately have been 1-goal games, and they've been scoring 3 or 4 goals. They just got to figure out, the defense has to be better and figure out ways to keep the puck out of their net.
Bryce is saying, bro, trade everyone. Rob, pay for section 210. Watch bulk of game from 109.
Because you can. That's what I would do.
Bro, just don't go.
I can see Matty sitting out front of the Wells Fargo. Don't go. He's got a sign saying, just don't go in. Boycott him. This is garbage.
I'll be like Nancy Reagan back in the day. Just say no. Only difference is, instead of dissuading you from taking drugs, I'm actually stopping you from doing a whole much worse habit, watching the Flyers.
I mean, again, I think they've been playing better. Defense just needs to be better overall. I just thought, they're in a bunch of 1-goal games. They're playing. I thought they played well for the most part against Carolina yesterday afternoon. They haven't. Taking one of the best teams in the Eastern Conference to overtime. Unfortunately, they couldn't pull it out. But again, they're in these games. They're not out of it. It's not like they're getting blown out every game. They need to figure out ways to win. Washington, again, the team just had no finish. They collapsed. The game against who do we do the live reaction against last week? Pittsburgh. Another game where they had it in hand. They just collapsed. They have to figure out ways to finish these games.
Yeah. And the Sharks do.
Don't go save yourself.
Don't go save yourself. Hey, Bryce, I'm going to assume he means that we can't lie, so just, true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Benny's pretty much summing up as what we were saying, what you were saying, Bry. Don't know how to close out games, which is true. That's been the big issue.
That's the hardest part. It's the hardest part, but the easiest thing to do, if that makes any sense. I know it kind of sounds contradicting, but, you give yourselves a lead, and then you pretty much play good for 40 minutes, and then you can't close it out in the final minutes. It's tough, man. Like, sometimes that's the most deflating feeling when you have a lead, and the next thing you know, it's tied, and next thing you know, you just lost in overtime. Like, it's been tough, and like I said, they've been playing better. Like, I thought the transaction game has been a little bit better. I thought their scoring chances are going up. Still not the best. I mean, they haven't had any really great scoring chances tonight. But, having Risto back in the lineup now, Isaac Ratcliffe is playing pretty well. That fourth line is still playing solid hockey, it comes back to, you have to have certain guys step up. And who's the one guy who's stepping up right now? I'll tell you who. Jerry Mayhew. You need to get more guys like him jumping in and figuring out ways to score goals. You're not even necessarily scoring goals. Create scoring opportunities. Again, I haven't really seen a major one since Willem had one earlier in the first period, which kind of, that's kind of what I'm getting at is, you can't score if you're not in that zone, creating chances, creating havoc, just putting the puck on net, putting bodies in front.
Rob, Mayhew Mania. There you go. Mayhew Mania.
Hashtag that bitch. Put that shit on a shirt, Matt. I love Jerry Mayhew. Like, I thought he was nothing more than a scrub AHL player. He's playing really well. He's playing with some confidence too. He must be using Manscaped. He must be using that.
He must be. Yeah, he must have come up to the Flyers, got a little bit more extra cash in the paycheck, up to Manscaped, use that A2D 20% off code, and start taking care of the boys down there. Next thing you know, he's getting himself some of those nice fine ladies running around there, and now all of a sudden he can score himself 3 goals in 2 games. So there you go. That we've answered it all. We figured it out. Let's see.
Well, that's the thing. They told him he has the end of the year. So Mike Yao is going to be here. Whether or not he's here at the start of next season, we'll see. But it's not looking good.
Yeah, it is not for Yao. This is not a strong showing for his abilities as a head coach. But to be fair, I think this whole team in general has not really shown a great ability, not just on the coaching side of things. But yeah,
and on the injury front, like I know it's tough. It's you don't have your full roster out there. You got a bunch of AHL guys and some guys who are just tasting the NHL for the first time. It's they're in a tough situation, especially when all the guys that you have are hurt are like your key guys, like your key vets that you need in that lineup every night. You have Couturier out for the rest of the year. Ellis is probably going to be out the rest of the year. Kevin Hayes is nobody, like they also don't put any information out there on any of these injury fronts to let people know what's going on. So,
well,
I have no answers to Ryan Ellis. I have no answers to Kevin Hayes. I have no answers to anybody else that's hurt.
Well,
I just found out 10 seconds ago that Ristolainen was even in the lineup.
Yeah, Risto came back in the last game, so he was back in tonight from his injury. The only other person who could possibly come back before the season's out is Hayes. But the other two, Ellis and Couturier, it seems like that they're just looking at it as next season. That's what they're looking at. But
they said with Couturier, they did back surgery that was going to end his season. So
yeah,
Ellis,
and
I'm not expecting Ellis back this year. But the upside to Ellis is, this might be a lost year for him, but they still have 5 years left on his contract, so he can really, focus on getting healthy, getting ready to get back on the ice and get ready for next season. And hopefully Nasty Nate's back soon too. I know he started skating again. So that's a big plus. I don't know if he's skating with the Flyers or not, but he's skating again.
And Benny's just saying, you have enough veteran players on the ice for them to give up leads like they do. It would be one thing if this team had a bunch of youth on the ice, but to have this happen with veteran leadership is a joke. No, and you can't deny that. There are veterans on the team who should be able to contribute a little bit more in terms of them not giving up the leads that they do. And also, like you were saying, Brian, there has to be a step up from some of these youth players or some of these players come up from the minors. It gets to that point where you got to have a step up. And if you do it once or twice, okay, you just kind of shake it off and you come back from 2 bad losses. You get a couple of real good wins and get yourself back in confidence. When you're doing it like 4 or 5 nights in a row, that's a bad trend. That's a trend that's picking up. It's just like, nope, this team is just making a habit of just doing it. And that's not a good thing. It's just 1 or 2 games, one thing. 5 games, that's bad. That's a consistent, horrible lack of effort in the very tail end of the game.
And the other thing too is, you need your vets to step up. You need guys like JVR, Travis Konechny to really step up because they're looked at as more than just vets on this team. TK is considered a nuclear piece to this team, and where's he? JVR's kind of been nowhere to be found since his last little hot streak, probably out a month ago. At least what it feels like right now. You need a little bit more from these guys, especially your vets. So I agree with Benny. Like, to not be able to close these games out, it's an absolute joke. There's Patrick chiming in saying I'm a Montreal fan and I'm embarrassed about it because we lost 10 games in a row. Flyers did it twice.
Yeah,
season. They had two losing streaks of 11 games plus. Like that's bad.
Pretty bad. And to be fair, though, I mean, Montreal, they lost Shea Weber, and they don't have Carey Price. And, they've got Primo, who might possibly be a really strong goaltender in the future. He's still very young, so we'll have to wait and see on that. But at the same time, you lost a lot in the offseason, whereas like we were talking about, the Flyers still have some veteran leaders here on this team, even with, losing guys like Ellis, losing guys like Couturier, and not having Hayes. It's like you still have Giroux, you still have Atkinson, you still have guys who are veteran players who could step up and really provide strong play for the team. As Montreal, it's a little bit tougher because you lost your big locker room leader in Shea Weber and you lost Carey Price. Although I know there's been that debate on Price. Maybe he will play, maybe he won't play, for the season. But those are two just crippling losses right there for that team.
Yeah, Patrick, I hope you're enjoying, man. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, brother. We'd love to have you in the chat a little bit more. What's up, Greg?
Hey, Greg, what's going on? And he's also saying, disagree to the poll. Send him to the Avs.
Why does everybody want to send him to the Avs? Send him to the Wild. They got some stronger prospects down there that they actually could be willing to give up for a guy like him.
Yeah.
Ryan O'Rourke. Get me Ryan O'Rourke. Oh, speaking of JVR. Oh, we passed it. What a surprise. Oh, Sanheim opening this. Had a nice slot shot.
Yeah. A couple of decent shots there for the Flyers. But unfortunately.
that's another good scoring chance there. Just keep throwing pucks on the net. It'll go in.
Yeah, 10 shots apiece. 10 shots apiece for both teams in this first period, and it may end that way as we're getting down to the last minute here in the first period. Only goal on the board, Braden Shen. Got a strange one, only strange because the ref originally waved it off and then eventually called it good because it was a good goal. And and that's the reason why we got the score the way we have it.
I don't know. I still don't know. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
I also have to pretty much have the game on mute. I actually have it on low so I can kind of hear it. And hopefully nobody can hear it on the over the audio here.
Well, I can, so that's a good sign.
That's a good start. That's a good start if you can't hear it. But I would love to hear the explanation on that one, just coming from the referee's standpoint.
Rob, Alex Newhook or we riot. But
I do like Alex Newhook. He's a stud puppy, man.
I do. The problem is I think that's what's preventing any deal with the Avs because I don't think the Avs want to give him up.
Well, the Avs already said they don't want to give up on him, but I think if you put the right package together, I think you can sway them to be like, all right, I think
maybe,
we can do this.
But we'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Well, we'll see if that becomes the deal killer or not. If it's if the Avs are just staunch and they're like, nope,
turnover. What are they doing?
Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, so the period has come to a close. 10 shots apiece for both teams. However, the Blues get the only goal on the board. And Martin Jones is in net, of course, because Carter Hart does have an eye infection. And so he was put on the scratch list. So hopefully the eye infection isn't anything serious, and he'll be back in the lineup for the next game. Carter, don't wipe yourself down after you shower with the towel somebody else used. Yeah. Just get a fresh towel, buddy.
Yeah.
You never know what people are carrying.
I just hope it's not pink eye.
Yeah.
That can get around. Around quick.
Yeah, that can. Anthony's saying it just feels like some other teams with lesser talent and even teams that suck with talent are better than the Flyers. But the problem is there is no communication. Doing their own thing, way too much chasing guy with the puck instead of playing in position, too much having Hart and Jones on their head. Looks like the Flyers, they really are really slow.
Yeah, you spoke a lot of truth in that there, and it's not that this team doesn't have anybody that's talented. I mean, yeah, we could talk about injuries all day. That doesn't help. But yeah, it's like you just said, there's no communication. I don't necessarily think they're doing their own thing, but I think they're trying to do too much with not enough, if that makes any sense. They are definitely chasing guys, which leads to guys out of position, and we've seen that multiple times. The other thing, too, is they especially later here in the second period or first period, turnovers, man. They can't get out of their zone clean enough, and it's leading to turnovers, and it's leading to second and third chances for the Blues, which is how they wound up with that first goal. It was wound up being a second or third chance for Braden Shen because it looked like Jordan Kyrou hit the post, threw it back on net, and then boom, there's Braden Shen with a puck sit in front of him and essentially a wide open net with Marty Jones, who's completely down and out, and nobody there to block him off. So there's that. So yeah, I mean, like I agree. They leave too much. They lean on their goaltending too much here, and I think we see Marty Jones move on, if not traded at the deadline. And needless to say, I think if things keep going the way they're going in a year or two, I don't think we're gonna have Carter Hart either.
Yeah,
and that's just a bold take.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what we get here. I know Rob originally threw out the idea of Martin Jones being possibly packaged in a Giroux deal to Colorado. I'm still believing that, I am actually buying into that I think Jones will be gone by the end of this trade deadline, that they will trade him off to a team that's competitive. And then Don saying for the eye infection, Benny's it's from all the shit he has to see in front of him. Yeah, that's a good way to get pink eye. You got to see a bunch of feces every night, and that's exactly what he's saying.
And it's just brutal in front of him. It really is. Like I see guys going to block shots and they get themselves way out of position. They're just a mess.
And then turnovers on top of it, which don't help nothing.
Yeah, and it's not even like it's necessarily turnovers that it's all turnovers they could have avoided.
Yeah,
because they're going for the
outlet.
They're going for the home run pass.
Yeah,
on the breakout, and it's instead of taking what's there for them, and they got like it seems like every forechecking forward for St. Louis or any team that they're playing knows what they're going to do, and they just hang out by the boards at the blue line, and they're like, "Oh, ooh, look what I found!"
Hey, look, we got ourselves a new Philadelphia special. Turn the puck over in your own zone and fuck your goaltender. That's the new Philly special. It's directly from the Flyers, fresh out of the oven.
If you watch the play here, they're breaking down the goal for Braden Shen. There's a lot of patience there. And it was the third chance. It was Jordan Kyrou, and it looked like Barbashev who got the assist too.
I think so. Yeah,
on the ice there, but it starts with patience in their own zone, letting guys get into position and letting guys get open, and they're not rushing anything. That's something the Flyers, they rush to play up ice. Like I get it, you want to score some goals on the rush, but they got to get some dirty goals. They got to get some dirty wins. A lot of that has to do the most success that the Flyers have had are games where they crash the net because they see the most success. It's just the type of players that they have, and they have some snipers, but everybody's hurt. They have guys that have some shoot first mentalities, but they're hurt.
Anthony is saying that the Flyers need to go to the strip club with James Harden.
They might need to put James Harden on that bench.
Needs to relax the team. Here I'm saying Ivan Fedotov had a nice Olympics for the ROC. Could be a solid option for the future. It's an interesting thing.
I heard he had a really good Olympic showing.
So
for the Flyers.
Yeah. So as the second period comes to a close, we now go into our next intermission. Bri, do you have the second or the first period sponsor?
I do. I just hit the wrong button. First period here is brought to you by EXP Realty. Sorry, it's really, really small. Let me make this a little bit bigger here. I can actually
while you do that, EXP Realty, if you're looking to buy or sell a home or a changing career in brokerage, you contact Alan Foy at EXP Realty LLC at 302-682-8820 or visit them on the web at alan.foy at exprealty.com. Listen, man, when you're making a move like Bri did, or when you're, selling your home, or you're trying to get a new home, or trying to just move in general, listen, want to do it right, Alan Foy's the guy to go to because that's a big thing to do. I'm sure, Bri, you can attest that it's a big move to make, and you don't want to do it in any other way but the right way.
Absolutely. Alan will take good care of you. He's a good friend of ours here at ATUD, and he'll take good care of you.
Absolutely. All right. So As we come to a close of the first period with a 1-0 lead for the St. Louis Blues, we talked about the Flyers and, with Giroux and trade rumors that are still flying around for the most part right now because we know the Flyers will be most likely sellers at the deadline.
As they should.
But, yeah, as they should absolutely. And, but besides that, what about news from around the league there, Brian? You got anything that you wanted to talk about?
Not a whole lot going on right now. I'm just trying to pay a little bit more attention to trade rumors surrounding the Philadelphia Flyers and in the Anaheim Ducks here. And I know Anaheim has 3 guys on their trade block right now. Not sure what they're going to do as far as contract extensions because all 3 guys, like I was saying earlier, Hampus Lindholm, Josh Manson, and Rickard Raquel are all free agents at the end of the year. Pat Verbeek has already stated that he wants to move some players and make some room here. So I'm expecting Anaheim to be a little busy at the deadline, bringing some picks in and moving some players here. Maybe hopefully getting Lindholm extended. He's the one guy I want them to hold on to. But more importantly, try to keep it a little bit more local here. I want to talk a little bit more about the Flyers' potential selling at the trade deadline here. We got a little under a month. It's actually almost a month exactly. Until the trade deadline, we got a lot of guys here that could be potentially moved for assets. We have some guys of value, some guys that may not have so much value, so they're probably not going to get moved here. But the one major thing I want to talk about here, Maddie, is who our untouchables are for the Philadelphia Flyers moving forward. I mean, I got a small list. I definitely want to know everybody else's list of who they deem untouchable.
Well,
Give me your top 5. Give me your top 5.
Let me pull up the Flyers roster here. And
while you do that, I'll go through my top 5. You want to keep the core relatively young here. So obviously you're going to hold on to Couturier because he's still relatively young and he potentially could be your next captain here. So I hold on to Couturier, especially since, he's got a little bit of a larger contract, may be a little more difficult to move. You hold on to Joel Farabee because Farabee just showing that he's a stud. He's everything that they thought he was going to be at the draft. Right now, I hold on to Wade Allison. I know he's had a little bit of injury issues this year, but last year was a really good showing for him. He's a dog. He gets into the dirty areas to score goals, and we saw multiple last year because of it. Right now, I hold on to Provorov. I mean, I know Robbie's not a big fan, and I know he's probably been I shouldn't say probably been. I know he's been inconsistent over the last couple of years. But he's been more. I thought he's been more on the positive side over the last couple games. And Hart's. Those are my top 5 untouchables. Obviously we want to throw Cam York into that discussion too, but I don't think Cam has shown me enough yet. I thought he's played really well, and he's showing that he deserves to be up at the NHL level, just like Isaac Ratcliffe has shown that he should be up at the NHL level. He's been showing he belongs. He's been playing a strong game. But I mean, Maddie, what do you got?
Well, Benny's, before I dive in, Benny's has got York, Coots, Hart, Provy, and Farabee. Those are his untouchables. So let me see here. Just go down the list here. Wade Allison, obviously, that's an untouchable. Couturier, I mean, by contract reasons, he's untouchable. Ryan Ellis, I mean, you can't really trade him either because he's got 5 years left and he hasn't had a full stretch with the Flyers. Joel Farabee is an untouchable for his talent. Carter Hart, obviously. Kevin Hayes, that's more of a buyout feel for me just because of his contract. But Sam Moran, Moran, honestly, I think I'd be surprised if the Flyers bring him back ever.
Yeah, because he's a UFA now after this year, right? Or is he still an RFA?
No, he's a UFA. They extended him, I think, a couple seasons ago. Give him another shot, but he got hurt again, so I can't see him coming
for that
back.
guy. I feel bad for the dude. I mean, this kid can't stay healthy to save his life. He was going to be a powerhouse. They were calling him Chris Pronger 2.0. He had a nasty slapper and played with an attitude, and he would have been a great Flyer.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about just
Imagine
how
him
injuries
and Risto on a pairing.
Yeah.
Imagine him and Risto on a pairing. Like that's
I know
scary.
it would have been awesome, but unfortunately that'll
would've been
only be in
scary.
the imagination. And Nate Thompson, I mean, I like Nate, but we'll see what happens if Nate's able to come back anytime soon. I mean, I think he's a good face-off guy and he's good depth, but
Great penalty killer, in my opinion.
yeah,
I don't know. Again, it depends on how quickly he comes back.
yeah, there's a lot of factors in on him. Cam Atkinson, obviously, you want to keep him around because he's got the offensive upside. Derek Brassard, I could see Derek Brassard leaving. I don't necessarily need him at this moment in time.
No, he's been solid when he's been on the ice, but he's not one of those guys that I have to hold on to.
Yeah, I agree. Justin Braun, I mean, Braun's been fine for his time here in Philly. Another guy who's had to step up in some pretty difficult situations. But if Braun wants to leave, I don't blame him. But we'll see
I can
with
see him.
Braun.
I see him being traded at the deadline. To be completely honest with you, I mean, especially when Cam York comes back.
I could see it, yeah, because you do need a spot open for York. You
Mhm.
do need it.
He's showing all the games that I've gotten to watch him, and he's showing that he deserves to be up. He needs more experience at the NHL level. I think he's done all he can do at the AHL level. He needs to be on the NHL team.
No, you're right. And Patrick Brown, I could see Brown just going away. I mean, he was lower in depth anyway. Not terrible play from him, but nothing necessarily that you lose your mind over.
Yeah.
Jackson
Mayhew again, showing some scoring prowess, putting himself in good position. Sorry, they were just showing some of the highlights from the first period.
Gotcha. Jackson Cates. I'm interested to see a little bit more of Cates. I know he played a little bit again in a Flyers jersey because of circumstance. I don't mind Cates. I don't mind his game. I don't think he could be decent depth moving down the line. But I'd like to see a little bit more of him. We've only seen him for a handful of games, both this season and last season. Connaughton's an AHLer.
I actually kind of like Connaughton. I like the waiver claim on him. He does bring a little bit of feistiness to him. He's a top 6 guy. He's not. Again, he's not one of those guys that's going to be like, oh, he has to be on the first pairing. He has to be on the first pairing. He's a solid defenseman. He keeps himself in fairly good position for the most part. And you brought him in for his physicality. I mean, the dude will drop the gloves if need be. He does finish off his checks like they need him to. But again, like my biggest issue on the defensive side right now, and I'm sure we'll talk about him a little bit more as we go on here, is Travis Anaheim. He's what's the word I'm looking for to describe him? He's an issue. He really is. He can't skate. Can't block shots. He has no physical side. He has a little bit of offensive upside, but like even if you want to consider him a two-way defender, how are you a two-way defender when you can't play the defensive side?
Yeah, right.
Like even if you want to call him an offensive defenseman, that's fine too. But again, the word in there is defenseman.
There is only one offensive defenseman who could ever claim that he can get away with doing whatever the fuck he wanted, and that was Paul Coffey. That was it, because he didn't play no defense, but he got away with it. What?
Are you talking for the Flyers, or are you talking about in general?
In general.
I had 2 other names in my mind too, but these guys could actually play defense.
Let's see here. Anthony saying untouchables. York, Frost, Hart, Atkinson, Allison, McEwen, and TK. I'm surprised he threw TK in there, but
I'm kind of surprised by that too. But I do kind of like that he threw McEwen in there. He's been one of the bright spots for this team all year too. You could even argue Scott Lawton into that untouchables. Yeah. I know a lot of people don't like Lawton, but I'm a big fan of Superman.
I like Superman.
Even tonight, his breakaway, he creates a lot of opportunities there, and he's one of those guys that's not afraid to get in the dirty areas and crash the net. I love Scott Lawton. He's a great third line center.
He had the best chance in the first period, so I mean, I
just couldn't get it up.
Yeah,
a little performance anxiety there.
Listen, it happens. It happens to every guy, or at least that's what the girl says. But anyway. Morgan Frost. Frost is still young. He's 22 years old, so I'm fine with seeing more of him. I mean, I know he had that one bad game where the poor guy wound up in the box at least twice, but that's a bad game. Everybody gets those.
Yeah.
Giroux, I mean, obviously, we all know that Giroux is probably going to get traded. And we know where Hart stands. Jones, I'm still thinking with Rob. I still think he might wind up leaving.
I still don't think Drew leaving is a guarantee. I still don't think he's a guarantee. Because again, he said he didn't talk to him. He didn't talk to.
That's true. He
Well,
does still
if his
control
agent's
Spain.
saying that he's been given the green light, I don't know what to believe. I don't know what to believe. I don't trust Twitter. I don't even go on Twitter anymore. I hate Twitter, to be completely honest with you. It's a cesspool of toxic environments.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was created by the devil, so, you know. And, well, actually, no, Facebook was, because when you look at Zuckerberg, I don't see anybody. I see a soulless shell of what looks like a human being. Anyway.
Did you not see that South Park episode with Mark Zuckerberg? He's just an animatronic robot.
Unfortunately, I did not, but you know what? I'm going to have to check that out now because that's the exact opinion I have of him.
That breakaway opportunity for Lawton was a little bit closer than I thought.
Yeah.
If Binnington didn't start to close his legs, it probably would have been a goal.
It's a shame that you know, 9 times out of 10, those do still slide under the goalie, even if he gets his pad on it. You know what I mean? It's just a shame it wasn't one of those times. But let's see. Rob saying Farabee, York, Coots, Frost, and Ratcliffe. Although I may be the only one who didn't like the between the legs play. He shoots backhand. It's a goal. Yeah, that's interesting.
Which place he thought is one of the Ratcliffe plays?
Might have been Lawton from earlier in the game.
Could have been.
Rosca
I do like that list stuff. Rosca, that's one thing we could definitely agree on. Twitter does suck.
Rob saying Hart would be my 6th. Interesting. And then let's see here. TK, I'm fine with TK moving on. He's 24 now. He has not lived up to his potential. He only had one good season with the Flyers. It's like, okay, get his ass out of here.
I'll be a nice guy. I'll give him 2.
Okay,
I got you.
I'll give him 2. And then Lawton, I'm fine with keeping Lawton. Oscar Lindblom. Lindblom's 25. I mean, I know he had the cancer and everything. I don't know. Lindblom's an interesting case here.
I mean, I'm putting cancer aside now because he's in remission and he seems like he's doing just fine. I think his development might be backtracked a little bit, so I want to give him like another year.
Yeah.
Because I mean, let's be real. Troy Terry was another guy I was questioning. I was like, I don't necessarily think he's going to turn into who he thought they were going to. Dude's top 5 in goals in the league. So, you know, he's starting to find his prime, and this is his first full season back.
True.
I would say that he's definitely a year behind in his development because of it. So I'd be willing to give him a little more time.
Me too. You know, I gave Nolan Patrick a break. I'm going to give Lindblom a break. Somebody who actually wants to be here.
Yeah, here's the thing. Nolan Patrick sucks.
He does.
I gave him nothing in Vegas.
I gave him the benefit of the doubt only because I thought, okay, maybe that concussion issue he had back in juniors is coming back to bother him. Turns out, no, he's just a shit player. But anyway.
He really is. He's really not even living up to the hype. I mean, he's in like a prime situation right now where he's in one of the best organizations in the NHL right now. He's in a situation with a team that's consistently in playoff contention. And look at the leadership that he has on that team. Look at the leadership he has on that team, and he still can't cut it. I think he's only played a handful of games this year. I mean, granted, I wish the kid the best. I do. I wish that he would. I hope he's healthy, but he has not lived up to being a number 2 overall pick.
No, he has not. Rosca, Nolan Patrick to the Coyotes. That's actually a very good possibility. Very good possibility.
I want to talk about that real quick. With the trade the Coyotes made 2 days ago. 3 days ago?
Oh, yes.
Nick Ritchie acquiring Nick Ritchie for Ilya Lyubushkin and Ryan Dzingel.
Dzingel, yeah.
Dzingel got claimed by, where did he go? San Jose? I think San Jose claimed him.
That's right. The Sharks did do it, didn't they? So I did find that funny. Dzingel was a Maple Leaf for all of about 20 seconds.
I liked it. I'm going to be honest with you. I loved that deal for Toronto. You know, you're getting yourself a top 6 defenseman in Lyubushkin, who's still young. I think he's, you know, they put him in a better situation with Toronto with the way the defense is built there to have a little bit more success and really, take his next step in his development. And then you bring in a wily vet like Dzingel, who's a little more versatile. So you can stick him in a couple different places, and you can play on the PK, you can play on the power play, you can play on the wing, you can play in center. He's very versatile forward. And then they go to put him on waivers to send him down to the AHL, and then San Jose comes in and swoops him up. I think San Jose is going to benefit from that.
They probably will.
Dzingel's not the player that he was, but
San Jose,
Dzingel's still he's still a good piece to have on a roster here, especially a team that's hunting for a playoff.
Yeah, I mean the Sharks have been getting a lot out of players that look like they were kind of on the wrong side of things, but I could see the same thing happening to Dzingel. I think what Bob Boughner's been doing, it's been working. The guys have bought into it, so it might very well be a possibility that maybe he can get something out of it.
He could. He very well could. I mean, the trade for Nick Ritchie, I don't know if I would have given up that much.
No, he's not, Brian.
What do you mean, no, he's not? Ryan Dzingel? Where Ryan Dzingel's been?
Oh, my God.
He's been in Arizona, the poor guy.
Let's see here. Now, Anthony's saying Kutzai would trade because he lost that hunger. Somewhat Radcliffe.
Yeah, he has lost that hunger, but hopefully a little bit of, how can we say, ring around the rosy with this roster, a little shake up here, could reignite that fire under Coots, because we know the type of player that he is. He's a complete 200-foot player. Oh no! Ryan.
No, not Yandel. Not Yandel. No.
I was talking, the only other defenseman I was talking about was Ilya Lyubushkin, because he was part of that deal over to Toronto, which I was saying that he could benefit from that. Yandel? No, he's done.
Yeah, stick a fork in it.
No.
Yeah.
We're on the same page there. Don't worry.
Yeah. See, I got Zach McEwen next. I like Zach McEwen. I like what he does for the bottom six. Mayhew. I like Mayhew. I mean, he's having a good go right now. I'd like to, nothing wrong with capitalizing on someone who's getting hot at the right time. So, hey, I'm fine with that. I won't be surprised if he winds up back on the Phantoms by next season if he's still with the team.
Wouldn't surprise me one bit.
Let's see. Provy. I do want to keep Provy because I know what kind of talent he is, and it's just a shame that it seems like he's been getting handicapped pretty much for the most part.
Yes and no. I mean, they've given him some really good guys to play with. Some of the guys, he didn't mesh too well with, but he was still a top pick. He's projected to be a top pairing guy. Like, he could have. I think he had the potential to be a top 10 defenseman in the NHL. I just don't think he's living up to it. And you can kind of say he's been handicapped because he's been dealing with a bunch of guys like that have dealt with a lot of injuries. And he's dealing with second pairing guys or third pairing guys. But
I think Ryan.
To Ryan's point, he just hasn't lived up to it. He's. You could say he's Yoni Pickinen 2.0.
Which is not a good thing, even though Pickinen did have his moments. Let's see. Pete's saying, yo, fam. What's up, Pete? Let's see here. Isaac Ratcliffe, 22. Obviously, you want to keep him, see what you got with him. Risto. I like Risto. I like his game. If we keep him, great. If he chooses to leave, I don't blame him. Let's see here. Next up, Sanheim. You could take Sanheim. You can have Sanheim for nothing.
We'll pull a ghost trade for Sanheim. Just take him. You don't got to give us anything in return.
Yeah. Nick Seeler. I like what Seeler does in terms of his bottom six play or his third end play, but he will probably wind up back on the Phantoms.
I don't see him anything more than like a seventh defenseman type.
Yeah.
He doesn't bother me. I mean, when the season first started, he got into his first game. I was just kind of like, all right, I see this cat. All right.
He's kind of
the cuffs. He's playing a physical game. All right, see
the
this
grinder.
Guy. I
Yeah,
don't know who this guy is, but yeah, I see you. He's just gone downhill from there.
Yeah. He's been he's been MIA. McEwen stepped up in his place.
You know, he's another guy that's constantly out of position, trying to make the bigger play instead of taking what's there. And that's the thing about this entire roster. You know, they're just not taking the game as it's coming to them. They're trying to force stuff too much.
Yeah, Ted
Not putting enough pucks on net. You know, trying to go for the flashy play, which is why they have so many freaking turnovers in a game. Like turnovers are going to happen. It's inevitable. It's unavoidable. Turnovers will happen, but some are avoidable. No, especially when you're coming out of your own zone for the breakout. Take what's given to you. Don't force the play.
And Ted's saying 32 more games left of this hell season. 32 games too many, in my opinion.
Pete's saying 32 more losses and better chances to get Shane Wright. I mean, this could be the thing too. Like you could be like, you know what, we really blew it on Nolan Patrick. We could always, take our chances here and get Shane Wright. There's a couple other good draft. There's going to be a couple other good draft picks here in the top 5.
Right,
so
you're right. You're making good sense there, Brian.
They're not going to be franchise-changing players like Shane Wright is, but there's going to be some good players in this draft. I'm just saying the top 5 is fairly loaded.
Yeah, no, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. You know what? Okay, yeah. I'm down with that.
And I'm going to be real. I might be one of the only ones in this, but I do like the guys that what's his name, Chuck Fletcher, has drafted so far. I mean, they've been performing better than the guys Hextall's gone after. This is be real.
Yeah.
What's up, Pete?
Pete saying agree to the poll. And then Rob saying, yo, Pete, very true, Ted.
So, not that anybody would be surprised by this, but every commercial break I've seen the Ovechkin and Nicholas Backstrom commercial, which is just great, by the way. If you haven't seen it, check it out. If that's really Alex's wife, like, she is just absolutely gorgeous.
I think it is, honestly.
I have a thing for Russian women. I think that's my type. I do.
Well, hey, we all have a type, right?
I think that's my type.
Hey, there you go.
Speaking of, Slavaski.
Slavkovsky. Slavkovsky.
I like the Russian girls. Can't always say the names, though.
You would like you'd like to give her a sloppy Slavkovsky, but you know.
Interesting take there, Maddie. Classic.
Brian's like, not right now with what's going on, Brian. That's a good point. That's a good point. I mean, there is a bit of not honoring someone's sovereignty. There is that going on, but you know,
you never know. You never know. Just saying.
Let's see here. What else I got? Kyrell Ustamenko, who did just get brought up tonight instead of Sandstrom, which I would like to see Ustamenko play a game just to see what he can do. I mean, why the fuck not at this point?
I see where Ryan's going with that. Okay. All right. That wasn't where I thought you were going, but yeah,
that's why I said not respecting someone's sovereignty. Yeah.
Okay, I got you.
Yeah. Also, Putin, go fuck yourself. But
oh my.
No, seriously,
we're not getting into that. This is a hockey show. Come on.
I'm just saying he's a dick. Just wanted to say that. But anyway,
say he's a dick.
You know, Benny's Nation in Russia, women drives you.
I'm about it. She can drive me all she wants. I could use it. I could use a good. Never mind.
you could use some mileage.
I could use a couple joy rides around the neighborhood, if you know what I'm saying.
A few long joy rides. You take the extra special way home.
I need a girl who's familiar with driving stick.
Well done there. All right, let's see here.
Oh yeah, Pove knows. Why is he always here for breakfast?
Yeah.
What's what happened if?
If I
go,
something happened to me.
How will Nicky get his assist?
What then? Yeah. What then?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
What then? Linus Sandin. Yeah, I wasn't
Linus
too
and
impressed with
Jackson.
his play up here.
Yeah, Cates, I still want to see a little bit more of.
Yeah. Who's Noah Cates?
Do we have his brother?
It's possible. It
We'll
wouldn't
see.
surprise me if the organization had both guys, but
And Anthony's saying, I like Cal O'Reilly and Clendenning.
is Cal O'Reilly still with the organization? I thought I saw him as a free agent.
I'm not sure. I actually am not sure about that. But let's see here.
Good defensive play there by
J-
PK there, blocking the shot. Getting the stick in the
JVR.
way.
JVR, yeah, you can. I'll put him in the Goodwill basket. You could take him. Let's see. Max Willman. I like Willman in terms of his intensity, and I do like him as like a bottom 6 depth player. But another guy that I would see probably heading back to the Phantoms. Not that he's a terrible player. I just think he's one of those bottom 6, players that has some good depth upside to him.
I mean, Glendenning is a good vet that you can have. What's up, Chris?
Yo, Chris. What's going on, brother?
He's another 7th defenseman type. I'm not really. You give me Glendenning a couple years ago, yeah, let's talk about it. I'm about it, but he's just more about those. He's a phantom. Cal O'Reilly's the same way. I do like. I mean, I don't really know a whole lot about Cal. I think he's Ryan's older brother. I think Cal's older than Ryan, not by much, but to Ryan's point, if you can get Ryan and Mark Stone here.
Mark Stone will be a huge upgrade.
But right now, I'm just not. I'm not buying into any real big name guy coming here right now, especially in a rebuild. Because Mark Stone is he's stud. He's a stud. Ryan O'Reilly, he's a flyer through and through. If you watch his play, but Buffalo was stupid to trade him when they did, but I understand why they did it. They had no choice. They didn't really have much of a choice at the time. I don't necessarily think they knew what they had in Ryan O'Reilly either. I don't think anybody expected him to turn into the player that he is. He's got that physicality. He's got that nose for the net. He's another 200-foot player. What else we got going on in here?
Rob's saying that Noah's playing college, so we do have his brother. So we have both Jackson and Noah Cates. So we have another Cates to look forward to.
What's up, Dylan?
Yeah, what's up, Dylan? Saying, how about those Flames winning 10 straight? Sorry about the Ducks loss.
Can't win them all, brother. It was a good game. Was it?
Oh, okay. Ryan was saying when they were available a couple of years ago, he went.
Oh, I thought he meant coming up.
And then Anthony said, Mark Stone's not leaving Vegas. No, yeah, he probably is.
I thought he meant like coming up when their contracts are up. I think Ryan's is up before Mark Stone's though.
And Chris is saying Noah looked good in the Olympics, so that's a good sign.
I didn't watch any of the Olympics, boys.
I watched.
Was not intrigued at all.
I watched a little bit of it. Let me see here. Keith Yandel. No, that's the Goodwill. He's in the Goodwill basket. And Igor Zamula. I would like to see a little bit more of Igor Zamula. He's 21 years old, and I've only ever seen him in maybe 3, 4, 5 games. So I'd like to see a little bit more of him.
Yeah, so I want to jump back and just talk about Usymenko for a second here. That I'm not surprised that he brought him up to be the backup while Carter's out. You want Sandstrom playing every day. You don't want him sitting on the bench, even if he's sitting on an NHL bench.
True. And that's true. I would like to see, though, if Hart is out for maybe a couple of games, maybe give Kyrell a start, just for the shit of it. It's like, listen, you're not making the playoffs. So why not give Kyrell an opportunity to show off a little bit? Maybe we get a win with him or something like that, He gets a good game under his belt. Yeah, I'm kind of fine with that.
And like I said, man, the one thing that this team just doesn't seem to want to do is get the dirty win. It's got to be pretty. It's got to be flashy instead of, dig in. Like that's how you're gonna get most of your goals. That's how you're gonna get most of your wins. Is you got to get a dirty one once in a while.
Chris is saying that Russian invader goalie looks great. He's huge. If he's talking about Kyrell, unfortunately, Kyrell is Belarusian. He is not Russian. But all the same, right?
I'm not touching that one.
Dylan saying, still pissed at the Flames for not getting Stone. They said they don't want to give Farm up for him. Crazy. Oh.
Yeah, at that time though, he was worth it. He was absolutely worth it.
Anthony saying Sandstrom is a stud. I do like what Sandstrom has shown. I would like to see more of him.
I mean, if I'm trading a goalie, I might consider trading Felix Sandstrom. He's going to be an NHL starter at some point, and he's not going to want to be a backup. He's not going to want to platoon. So you're going to have to make a choice at some point.
Well, I mean, I do get that, but Rob's theory isn't a bad idea. Maybe put Sandstrom up there with Hart. Maybe you rock with a tandem for a period. Maybe then you could trade off Sandstrom then because he has a little bit more stock in the NHL, a little bit more confidence from teams in him.
Maybe. I mean, I just don't want it to wind up being a situation that's in, a little bit more than what's going on in New York because you have two starters in New York with the Rangers. You have Shesterkin, who's the clear franchise guy. And then you also have Georgiev, who could be a starter on any other team. So I just don't want it to be that situation and get it to the point where it's just like, okay, now we're having an issue where – now we got to pick between the two. I would rather take. Between the two, I don't know who I would take. I think you can't go wrong with either one. But you invested a lot in Carter Hart, so obviously I would trade Sandstrom and see what I can get for him.
Yeah,
at least start listening to offers for him because somebody will take him. Anthony
is, I guess, really not a fan of Hart because he thinks that Sandstrom will take Hart in goal. I'm not so sure about that.
Doesn't matter who you have in that; they're gonna struggle.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we could have freaking Waugh in goal right now, and we would still probably have a losing season. We might have a few extra wins here and there, but we would still be a shit team all the same.
I mean, does Hart give up a softie here and there? Yeah, absolutely. They all do. They all do. But this is kind of why, like, I want to interact with more people in some of the Flyers groups that I'm in. But they just annoy me so much because we can't have nice things. And there are fans out there that do want to trade Carter Hart. And I'm like, he's 23 years old. He's not going to be in his prime for 2 more years. Give him a rebuild for 2 years. Let him hit his prime. Let the rest of these other younger players get a little bit of development up in the NHL. And then rock out. Because you know what? At that point, he's going to hit his stride. Some of these other younger players are going to hit their stride. You bring in a couple vets here and there, a couple bigger pieces. You got a playoff team.
Yeah, and Rob even brought up another one with St. Louis with Bennington and Billy Husso.
Yeah, I mean, Billington is still struggling a little bit here and there.
Not tonight. But
the Flyers aren't really challenging him either. They haven't really had a really good – they had like maybe 2 scoring chances in this period.
Pretty much.
They're going to like legit scoring chances.
And there's a penalty coming up on the Flyers. It's hooking. So that ain't going to swing the momentum in the Flyers' favor anytime soon.
Good penalty kill, kid.
Yeah. Chris saying, dude is 6'7" and almost won the gold for Dutov, I think. We own his rights. Great backup. Put him in the AHL. Interesting.
And the problem is it's so deep right now in the at the goaltender position right now, you don't really have room for him in the AHL. You want to give Sandstrom all that time. You want him to get to that next step, and then you got Usamenko right behind him.
Yeah.
You add what's his name? Fedotov,
yeah.
You add him to the mix. You can only carry 2 goalies. Next year, absolutely. Because you're not going to have Marty Jones. You're probably going to have either Usamenko or Sandstrom probably up on the big club with Carter Hart. If you don't go out and get another veteran backup, which I think would kind of be silly at that point, but just platoon the 2, show off what you got, and then now you have Usamenko and Fedotov as your AHL starter and backup.
So that's what Chris meant when, in terms of the Russian goaltender. He was talking about Fedotov.
Mm.
Anthony does think, though, that Hart will be here, but he thinks Hart and Sandstrom will be staying in Philly for a long time. So he thinks that we will have those two playing in goal. And I think that's what he's saying.
I mean, it's not. Listen, they're not bad options to have, because again, you have, and I'm still going to use the term potential because we still don't. We know what we're getting from Carr, but we don't really fully know yet. We're starting to get the idea of the type of goalie that he's going to be. Sandstrom is still a huge question mark. We see what he can do at the AHL level, and yeah, he looks really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
He could potentially be another franchise goaltender. The thing is he going to want to platoon for his career? That's my only thing, because at some point when you're at if you're a caliber goaltender that Sandstrom could potentially be, you want to be the guy.
Well, Martin Jones knows a thing about that because he did not start with San Jose. He started with LA.
Started with LA.
And he had to platoon with, and he had to be the backup for Quick. And that eventually led to him proving that he was a starting goalie. That's why the Sharks picked him up.
And it's going through that again. The LA's going through that again because now you have Cal Peterson.
Yep.
And he looks like he's going to be the future goaltender for the Kings. So you're really, you know what I mean? You don't, as much as I'm kind of saying you want to steer away from it, it's a great problem to have when you have too many goaltending prospects. It really is, because let's just go out on a limb, right? Let's go out on a limb, and I'm speaking strictly, I can't say this enough, strictly hypothetical. Let's say Carter Hart just bottoms out. He doesn't turn into what we think he's going to be. Flyers are in a situation right now where you have Felix Sandstrom. You can just plug him in. If Kirill Usamenko turns up into what they think he could be, boom, you got another guy there. This is a great problem to have for Fedotov if he continues to show that, he's the guy that they think he is, 6'7" or whatever. Boom. You got him there too. So the Flyers are in a really good situation as far as goaltending prospects go. But
I'm sorry.
On the other side of that too is if you need to trade a goaltender, you need something else. Somebody's looking for a goaltender. You got trade pieces to acquire something of value in return.
No, you're right on that. Dylan said this. It was funny as shit. He said, Flyers won that Shen trade. Blues got a true goal scorer, and Flyers got a true drug dealer in Laterra.
Was Laterra part of that deal? I don't remember that.
Yeah, Laterra was the guy we got back in a pick. And
right, that pick turned into Morgan Frost.
Yes, it was funny as hell because then Laterra got busted, I think 2 seasons later for, selling off coke, and he had shit tons of it at his house in Finland.
Yeah, he was running his own little personal drug circle.
Oh my god!
Kind of reminds me a little bit of Jordan Stoll, but he was just more of a runner. He was running it from Canada or to Canada. I don't remember the story.
Stoll, yeah, I think that, and that's what he got busted for in Vegas. I think it was.
Yeah, he was either running it from Canada or to Canada. I don't remember which way he was going, but I know he got busted for it. He had a bunch of kilos in his trunk, which is really a bad place to put that.
Yeah.
And if you have that much cocaine in your back trunk, what are you doing to get pulled over?
I know.
What are you driving like a freaking grandmother? Not that I don't already do, but I'd be driving even more like a grandparent if I had that much drugs in my trunk. Oh my god!
So if I hear a knock on your door, it's the South Carolina Police Department. It's the Raleigh Police Department.
I don't know why the South Carolina Police Department would be coming about it, especially since I'm in North Carolina.
My bad. I forgot which one it was. Sorry. Yeah, there's 2 Carolinas. I'm sorry. Anyway.
I know not to move to Dakota because you're not going to know which Dakota I'm in.
Yeah, that's true. Hell, I'd probably get it wrong if you moved to California. So you in Northern California or Southern California, since those seem to be 2 different places too. But anyway.
Same thing about Jersey too. North Jersey, South Jersey are 2 completely
But that's different. I live in Jersey. I need to know the difference there.
True.
So Swoop saying, It's not the goalie. It's the style of play and system. The team needs a team full of energy guys with lots of durability and stamina who are great all-around skaters and play a very aggressive and attacking tempo pressure style of play. They need a GM and a coach or coaches as well as scouts who have this attitude and focus to get back to being an all-out team, frustrating the opponents to death. And once again,
with anything that Ryan just said either.
What Ryan says in his paragraphs, he's not wrong. I mean, I'm surprised Ryan doesn't have like a column or opinion pieces that you find online. Actually, I think you should consider doing that, Ryan. You really should consider going in and writing those opinion pieces and stuff like that you find there.
ACD's always looking for writers, so if you want to be a writer, reach out, man, and we'll get something set up for you.
Because I mean, you're writing these paragraph-long comments, and they're all making sense. They really do. They really, really do.
Flyers are going on the power play.
Yes, they are, as a delayed penalty was called on the St. Louis Blues. I believe it was holding was called on them.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's something that we haven't seen most of the season, to Ryan's point, was any kind of up-tempo type of style at all, whether it be on the forecheck, back check, offensive side, power play. It's they're playing their own pace. They're playing their own game. They're playing, to Scott Hartnell's point, they're playing soft hockey.
Yeah.
Scotty Hartnell came out and trashed. I don't want to necessarily say trash his team, but he was on NHL Now, and he was just absolutely brutally honest on NHL Now about what's wrong with the Flyers. And
I'm fine with that.
To Ryan's point, all of it. I mean, like this year alone, and I know he said it's been, he says it's been this way for 20 or more seasons or years, but you're seeing it now more than ever. This team just has no pace, and it's becoming very, very more of a toxic environment.
Yeah, and it's becoming exploited.
Culture's gone. There's no culture. There's no pride behind the sweater anymore, and if there is, it's only with certain players. So it's you gotta start breaking it down and start recreating. And like we've been saying for probably a couple months now, me, you, and Robbie, you got to start at the top and work your way down.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start at the top, and that's the ownership. What's up, Priz? I see you in there.
Yeah, Priz. He's also asking if you were doxing.
No, why?
Well, apparently his theory was we were talking about Coke there, but just saying.
Dox if you're not off it. Not saying that I'm on it. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but anyway, Anthony was saying, I think Sandstrom doesn't want to leave Philly, and he doesn't care about being a backup like Richter or Breezy. And if that's the case, then that's perfectly fine. If he does not care about being a backup, I'm totally fine with Sandstrom being here working with Bart as our tandem moving forward. I'm totally down with that.
You need more guys that are more about the team and not about themselves and contracts and money and being a star. And I think that's a lot of what we're seeing with some of these guys here is like, I want to be a star. I want to make millions of dollars, but I don't want to do it here. It's just like some of these guys, I don't get it. It's like TK. TK's a talented player. He knows how to get under players' skin. He can draw penalties. What happened to the 20-goal scorer that he was? Couturier, 3 out of the last 4 years, a Selke finalist. I think he won one. May have been 2 years ago. He got his paycheck, and that was it.
Yeah. I mean, Konechny in this power play had a great opportunity. He was in the wide open side of the net, but he skated to the back end and didn't have his stick down on the ice to pot it home. So I was like, God damn it, dude. Like, come on. You're skating behind the net for no fucking reason. And then he doesn't even have his stick available. And I did take a shot there to make up for it. So at least there was that. Oh, that was the best chance of the game. Best chance of the night, and I think it was Giroux who had the chance, and he just missed a wide net. Oh well. Let's see.
And that's the other thing, Ryan. I see your comment down there. They don't shoot enough.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great shot. That was TK too.
Yeah, TK had a great chance, and then he
there's
sets up
another one by
Giroux.
Giroux. Giroux, keep
Yeah,
skating, bro. Stop worrying about it.
yeah. Shot it. Oh, the puck was on its side. It wasn't flat on the ice.
See, that annoys me too, and I see that a lot with this team too. If they miss a wide open net, they stop skating.
Yeah.
They look up at the rafters. Look up at the rafters when you get to the freaking bench.
Yeah, I will admit that's a rookie move right there from Giroux. He shouldn't be
I
letting
get
that
it. Wide open net right there. Open shot. Had it and went. Stop. Oh, I hate that. I hate that. Like,
Chris is saying, why
come
have
on,
we
man.
not started shipping guys out for prospects and draft picks? I'm in tank mode now, and we must rebuild through the draft. At least they hired Danny now, and we need the best scouts. Well, here's the thing. I'm still unsure if Danny's going to pan out because he has no experience. I'm hoping for the best. I'm just not sure if we will get it. We do need the best scouts. You are correct in that. We should be shipping some guys out for prospects and for draft picks. But the thing is that the Giroux deal is the main thing that they're trying to bank on. And they're also probably waiting until the offseason as well for other moves. And that's the other thing that I think we're waiting for. Plus also then draft time will roll around, and I'm sure there'll be some deals there made. But
I'm not sure how much of an impact Danny's going to have in this organization, too. Chuck Fletcher's not that type of guy. He's going to sit there and be like, well, at least we know Ron Hexel wasn't the type that's going to sit there and take advice from everybody else. I mean,
clearly not.
Chuck doesn't seem like he's that type either. But again, that just goes back to saying I don't know how much say that Danny's going to have. But I mean, I agree. At this point, you got to bring in some rookies and build through the draft. You know, you got to get that pipeline full again and get some talent back into this organization. And a lot of that does go back to the scouting. You know, you're looking at some of these guys and you're like, what the hell do these guys see in Morgan Frost and TK? And, you know, not to say that these guys can't turn it around. But yeah, I mean, I absolutely agree with Chris here. I mean, not necessarily full tank mode, but I'm for this organization, I'm in retool mode. So let's start moving some guys and getting some stuff in place here and start planning for. Fortunately, you know, it's a saying in Philly here. It's look forward to next year.
Unfortunately, I just wish that the Wells Fargo Center was still the First Union Center because it was just
the FU Center.
Yeah, because it was just so fitting. Just like every year, the Flyers always
First
said,
Union
"Fuck
doesn't
you"
exist anymore. First Union got bought out by Wells Fargo.
I know. Just man, that was so fitting. FU Center. It's like yes, nothing could fit Philadelphia more because every fucking season the Flyers said, "Fuck you" to the fans every single time. But anyway,
yeah, and that's what I'm talking about, Rye. You know, these guys passed it up too much instead of going for the dirty goal.
Yeah,
JVR had a great opportunity there, and he did pass it up.
Dylan saying, I saw Konechny is rumored to the Kings. That would be interesting. I don't know what the Kings would be
a good move for LA. LA's got some young pieces they can move over to Philly, too.
True. And then Dylan saying, the most energy the Flyers get nightly are their call-ups and who are trying to keep their spot in the NHL. The rest of the team is just comfortable because they've lost their passion to compete, it seems, and they just want to collect their paycheck. Yeah, I think that's another thing that I remember I theorized it, you know, like, are they just playing for a paycheck or are they playing for the team? And I think we've gotten our answer for the most part.
Again, it goes back to a lack of culture in the locker room. There's no culture there anymore, you know. With Ed Snyder, there was a culture. There was a way to do things with the organization. You know, you go out there, you wear the jersey with pride. You go out there, you play, you fight, you scratch, you claw. You know, you score. You figure out ways to score and win games. And if you don't, you at least make it close, or you know, at least give them something to think about for the next time they come into town. Is you know, you throw your physicality around, but
yeah,
they've lost that. You know, all these like. If you look at some of these other teams that are competing, the one thing that they do is not play a soft game. And that's what the Flyers do way too much. And unfortunately, it seems like it just continues to get worse. Yeah. And I'm not saying that they're playing terrible tonight, but they're still not playing
not playing spectacularly.
No, I've seen them play worse. Defensively, they're playing all right. They're staying in position for the most part, allowing Marty to really, make some of these saves and cover up. And Bronny specifically has done a good job of tying guys up in the slot, like we saw in that highlight there with Tarasenko there in the second period. So, and Marty Jones is playing really well in that. Good positioning. He's really keeping these guys keeping the Flyers in this game. The Flyers just need to figure out a way to solve Binnington.
Yeah. And let's see. Ryan Swoop saying, I have always loved the Red Wings because they have always played that way, but also built their team with the kind of players that will bring. Well, they were forced to because they tried to keep the party going. They went on that long stretch of playoff runs, and they tried to break that record. And then when they did, they went through a good 5, 6, 7 year period, that they had to rebuild the team. And they're only just starting to get out of the woods now and actually try and make something of themselves for the first time. That's this season. So that's a long time since they've been relevant in the NHL. So, which, again, they were forced to have to rebuild through the draft.
Yeah, but you know what? It's starting to pay off now because Detroit next year is going to be a team to be scared of.
No, you're right. You're right. To be fair, these players get to see dysfunction in the organization day in and day out. Yeah, I'm sure that's very inspiring.
See it every couple of days because, well, frankly, we're stuck watching it.
Yeah, the joys of being a Philadelphia fan. Yay!
What joy? There's no joy.
Well, that was sarcasm, but
there's no joy.
Unfortunately, no.
The only joy we have right now is the Sixers, and they're on the All-Star break.
And the fam. We have them, so we do get joy out of these guys. So there is that too.
Well, it was more referring to our sports team than the fam, but that's fine.
We can
include them.
Yeah. I just want to throw that out.
I guess. Yeah. They're all right.
They're all right.
Where's Don hiding?
I don't know. We talked about how his Detroit Red Wings are now a threat all of a sudden. But, you would think that would bring him out of his hibernation. Speaking of the fan, by the way.
Bryce in the chat, too. I don't see him there. I don't see him in here anymore. It's all good. It's all good. They'll be back. They always come back.
Speaking of the fam, if you guys out there who are not, feel free to take a look at that A2D membership. It's $9.99 a month. You get some great perks, including appearances on shows, members-only streams, shout-outs, weekly sports picks from the Money Pop Podcast, and Willie Vegas. Hey, man, those guys know what they're talking about. So you can actually get paid to be a member. Because all you got to do is take their advice, go throw some money around. Next thing you know, boom, get yourself a side hustle going. All you had to do is become an A2D member to do it.
Yeah, it's $9.99 to win some more money back.
Hell yeah.
Great perks. Right. We had Priz on the show a couple times. So, yeah, come on, sign up. Sign up on our YouTube side here, and I think the link should be in the chat.
And we're still waiting for Don to make his appearance on the show.
Yeah, we are. Still a little upset, but that's fine. To Chris's comment, he says Danny knows talent. No argument there. Of course he knows talent, but we have drafted so poorly the last 10 years. We are stuck in limbo.
I can't disagree that we have drafted some pretty questionable players. I mean, Nolan Patrick, Sam Moran, Travis Sanheim. Yeah, there have been some questionable choices that have been made on our drafting.
Yeah, I mean, again, we're going to jump back here and say we're not, at least me personally, I'm not going to say we. I'm not sure how much say Danny will have. Especially with the draft, he might have more say in what's going on with free agency. I mean, don't really know. We don't really know, and I would love to see there be a. I would love to see Danny have some say and see them draft some talent, and there's still some guys we have to look forward to. I'm not going to sit there and say that they've drafted poorly. There's some guys that are starting to pan out a little bit. Like you said, yeah, Cam York and Wade Allison, Bobby Brink leading the NCAA is another big one who could possibly be signing his contract soon and jumping into the fray. What's up, Priz?
Hey, Priz.
LJ Lava, 46-year-old Flyers fan, can't watch no more. It's tough. It's tough. You know, we're doing live reactions now, and it's not
really
easy. You know, it used to be to the point where we were actually like watching the game and talking about what's going on. Now we're having side conversations, not even paying attention to the game.
I mean, we're keeping tabs on it, but there hasn't been much to really talk about besides that Flyers power play about a few minutes ago.
It's been a good defensive game. I'm not even going to sit here in front on that. It's only 1-0. Flyers are still in it.
Yeah.
You know, Marty Jones is playing great, and defense is playing solid in front. Flyers just need more time in the blue zone. A couple of really good scoring opportunities. Need to find that finish. And Giroux's scoring opportunity there at the end of the period, after watching it another time, you could watch the puck had a little bit of a roll on it, and I think Giroux got too much of the puck on the heel of the stick, and it just sailed wide. It didn't go where he wanted it to go.
And who are we looking to bring in? G-Trade, JVR, Oscar, any of the multiple fourth liners we have. We do have at least 2 fourth lines.
Yeah, and again, a lot of that has to do with the fact that, you know, a lot of these key guys here are hurt, so you're moving some of those bigger name guys up in the lineup there. I think one of the guys from that fourth line you could move right now, who's having a pretty stellar last week and a half, is Jerry Mayhew. So I could see him possibly being a guy you could get some value for. Obviously, you're looking for, if we're looking, and I know we've discussed this ad nauseum the last few weeks, and we're going to continue to until if and when it does happen. For G, you need at least one NHL ready now prospect. One, I would say, middle tier prospect. And I'm looking for at least one first round pick. That's me.
Gotcha. Everybody's saying the Brian Scott era has begun in Philly. Let's go Stars. Chris was saying, unfortunately, we wasted Flowers regulation shutout from the, I guess, for the Blackhawks there. Rob Brinkman, what's up, Rob? Saying
what's up, Robbie?
People
catch
should
Robbie on Grant Booth every Sunday morning. Catch him on Monday nights at 7, Robbie. On the Sports Hounds with Brad Ryer.
And Rob Brinkman saying, people should continue not to go. 8K at the Carolina game is the only message ownership will understand. Yeah, I mean,
but it's Comcast, so they'll make their money. They're not overly worried about it. 7:30 for the Sports Hounds.
All right then. And he says, Rob also said, there's not one bright spot on this team. How does that happen? Well, the only bright spot is Hart, but the thing is, it's like, well, him and maybe Joel Farabee. But, yeah. Well, how does it happen? Way too much trading and not enough youth developing when they should have. Because
I mean, you definitely hit the nail on the head there with the development. There's definitely development issues here. But, I mean, I would call Cam Atkinson a bright spot. I would call Joel Farabee, before he got hurt, a bright spot. I mean, I know, Brinks, you're going to disagree with me here, but Giroux's been a bright spot. He's been one of the more consistent players all season long. Trying to think on the defensive side if there's really been anybody. I mean, Bronny's been playing decent all season long.
Keith Yandel
is just get him out.
Yeah, and into the Goodwill basket with you. Goodbye. Let's see, Dylan saying Flyers need to build up their farm. All they have left in development that is ranked is Forster, Wisdom, and York. And that's a good point. There should be a conceded effort to restock the shelves down there if you only got 3 players on the ranked side of things.
Yeah, absolutely. No, dude, I'm all about you being Team Giroux, Brinks.
And Benny's saying a lot of talk of Miller heading to the Leafs. Interesting. Very, very interesting.
Miller? Who?
Philadelphia Stars. That's the team for the USFL. Interesting. So there'll be a Philly team.
Philly's getting a USFL team? I didn't know that.
Apparently,
That's
from
actually
what
kind of cool.
from what
Man.
Benny's is
Well,
saying.
obviously I can't check that out, but maybe Raleigh will get one.
Chris saying, "Heart doesn't feel that way, Chris."
Ooh. Get him.
And then
Oh,
Benny's
JT
saying
Miller.
JT Miller.
JT Miller.
Yeah. Russ was saying Miller
Dude,
who?
that would be a good get for them. I like JT Miller. JT Miller's a solid second line winger still.
Let's see. They're saying MVP of the All-Star game. So if you had players with actual pulses around him, he'd thrive. Yes,
But even
that's
before,
one thing we've been
before
saying.
that All-Star game brings, we've already seen it. I mean, we've already
been
seen
saying it for years.
I mean, Voracek, when he had his best year before he got his contract extension, Giroux put up and he was like an 80, 90-point season. And then with Yager, he had 103 points, the first Flyer since Eric Lindros to do it. So yeah, I agree with you 100% there. You got to put guys around him, and the Flyers have yet to do that.
Giroux, at the end of the day, is that was the Flyers organization failed him. He didn't fail us. The organization failed to put a team around him. That's not the fault of him. That's the fault of the organization. Oh no, what did he do? Please tell me that Craig Button does it more and more like the Heat mice.
Oh my God, it's so true. But you said it, not me. Yeah, Brinks. To your point about the looking at the stats when he's on or not on the ice, he hasn't missed many games. He really hasn't. He's been really good about staying on the ice and staying healthy, keeping his body in good shape. And I can't remember the last time he got hurt or really missed any extended period of time until he had that incident with the Mounties up in Ottawa. And spraining his finger or something like that. What was that?
That was something
like I think that was the only other time that he really missed any significant time, and that was like the first 2 months of the season. If I remember
that shit
that
was
correctly.
funny though. Looking back on it, that shit's funny as hell. Chris saying,
that's fair, Brinks. I see you.
As far as development, Lappy has failed at every position he is given. We are the only organization that promotes failure. I mean, Lappy he's been here for a while, so it might be something to look into. And Rob's saying I'm talking about when he's actually out on shift.
Yeah, I feel you.
Versus when he's not.
I got you now. We're on the same page.
Nancy's saying Yandel in 5 years will be in a nursing home and telling his fan club he was a Bobby Orr.
So he's going to be telling what, like his shadow? Because I think
maybe
the only person that might be his fan right now.
Yeah, pretty much.
I was a huge fan of that signing too, and he's sucked.
Yeah, pretty much. Talk about the one. It's like, oh well, I was an Iron Man. Yeah, go fuck yourself, Yandel.
Good for you. You were an Iron Man. What else did you do in your career? I mean, I loved Yandel with the Rangers. I loved Yandel with the Panthers. Where's that guy?
Yeah, he's
where is that guy?
He died on his way to Philadelphia. But anyway, before we do our live reaction to third period, we have our second period sponsor. What is that, Brian?
Give me 1 second. Second period sponsors All Campus, home of the A2D ramp booth, which you can catch every Sunday. And Brinkman, who you see in the chat there, can he's on there with our good friend John Coyle. They're also giving you 20% off everything in the store, including hats, T-shirts, and our team cornhole sets to all subscribers. So that's another perk to having the A2D membership is you get another extra 20% off with our friends John Coyle and at All Campus heading down to Ocean City, New Jersey. So if you're down there, which I believe it's between 10th and 11th, down there on the boardwalk, it's All Campus. Check them out.
All right then, and yeah, great stuff there. And then,
oh right, I forgot he was in Arizona too.
He was, and Dylan's saying the two Coyotes fans will be Yandel guys. So Rosca is one of them.
Oh, that was unexpected.
And Chris saying, G gives his all, but is not a born leader. If we had another C, people wouldn't give him so much shit. French Canadians don't have a good track record. It's an interesting theory, that maybe if G was not given the C and that somebody else. Oh, take note of that, by the way, people.
Check it out. Take notes.
Yep. But
take notes. Cornhole sets included.
It's an interesting theory to think about that maybe if the Flyers had somebody else wearing the C, like if Pronger had not gotten hurt and he hadn't been, basically done through his career, that maybe Giroux doesn't get the C, and maybe that actually pans out even better for him, that maybe he just wears an A instead of a C on his jersey. It's an interesting theory to throw out there.
I mean, G is a little. I mean, I don't know for sure. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend like I know. They say that G's a little more soft-spoken than most. Again, that's speculation. I think he's fine because he does lead by example on the ice. I mean, I do see. Are you going to see him drop the gloves and start throwing fists? No. But he gets in the melees. And starts, grabbing after guys. When they need a big goal, a lot of the times he's the guy to step up. But he just needs to star with them. He needs a guy. He needs to shoot first guy. And I think Atkinson could be that guy. I do. And I think that both guys have played a little bit better. Is Atkinson in a dry spell? Of course. It's going to happen. But, they need to figure out more creative ways to start putting pucks on net. And like I've been saying all show, this is the type of team, this Blues team, you got to crash it. You got to crash the net.
Yeah, they had a shot that did get through onto Binnington, but it actually went off of Binnington's paddle and hit him right in the mask. So that's interesting.
Yeah, it bounced right back out. I didn't see who that was.
I think it was Willman who took a swipe at it on the side.
Willem. Yeah, Willem had a good opportunity there. He just whiffed on it.
Roska saying Risto to the Coyotes. I think Risto's done with non-competitive teams. I would be surprised if he sticks around in Philadelphia if he isn't tired of it.
Come on, it's Roska. It's everybody to Arizona. Anybody that you can think of. Wayne Gretzky, he's retired. Wayne Gretzky to the Coyotes. Yeah.
Or to the Ducks, one of the two. Dylan's saying, I think Lawton deserves the C now. Coots can't stay healthy to lead. Interesting idea.
Lawton, but I don't like Lawton enough to put a C on him. I would definitely consider putting an A on him next year. I don't know if I'd put the C, though.
The ref took a dump because the puck was shot into his skate blade. Anyway.
Have you ever had a puck hit your skate blade? It's...
Oh no! I know. It's just funny,
especially if it hits the boot in the right spot.
Oh yeah, your ass is tumbling. Chris is saying,
stepped on it.
Chris is saying, I hate Yandel. Should have benched him the day before the record. Ooh. What D-man plays that many games without sacrificing the body for their goalie? Soft ass motherfucker who can't skate. Oh, damn, that was coming right for Yandel's throat. And to be fair, that's Yandel summed up as a Flyer. As a player on the other teams that we mentioned, actually, that is not the case. He got soft here towards his time in Philadelphia.
Well, to be fair, I think he was a little softer before he left his last place, which I think
Panthers.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think it was the Panthers.
Well,
that's an interesting one. Can the Flyers land Hurdle and pair him with Giroux?
I mean, it's not out of the realm of possibilities because I think
that
the
would
Sharks...
be a fun line. Him, Hurdle, Giroux, and Atkinson. I think they could have their share of fun, but he needs a pure.
The thing is,
a pure shooter.
I don't think it would have. Oh, that was a beautiful chance by the Flyers, but Binnington got it with his paddle. I think. Damn it, Lindblom had a golden opportunity to get himself a goal.
They're playing a little more up-tempo this period here. I'm noticing, early on here in the first 5 minutes, they're spending a little bit more time in the blue zone than they have earlier on in this game.
Oh, never mind. Bennington didn't get it with his paddle. Lindblom just shot it over.
Whoa.
Yeah, he shot it over the net. The puck wasn't settled, and so he shot it, and the puck just flew.
Yeah, that was definitely a rolling puck. You can usually tell when they are because they get a little bit more lift.
But let's see here.
Gotta put a little more sauce on it.
Yeah. But as for me, I would say I don't know if the Flyers would be able to land Hurdle and keep Giroux. I think, honestly, the way that the Flyers would get Hurdle would be trading Giroux to the San Jose Sharks. So that would be the only way I could see it happening. I mean, unless
Eh.
the Sharks want to do something else, but we'll see.
Yeah, that puck wasn't rolling. He just put too much touch on it. He got under it a little too much. Hugh Harper saying who is Superman. That's what we refer to Scotty Lawton.
Anthony.
Well,
That's what she
Priz
said.
refers to Scotty Lawton as.
And then, yep, Superman. We all love so long. We call him Superman also because he's known for. By the way, hi Hugh. Known for getting those home run passes and putting them in the back of the net, especially when we were in the bubble playoff. He got a couple of those bad boys on the Islanders. But that's when he became Superman.
He's playing with some speed right now. I mean, it's bad that there's 3-on-1. Oh, great play. Who got back?
Yeah.
Oh, a Sealer who got back. And keep in mind, I am definitely like 30 seconds behind.
And Dylan saying, I turned on the Columbus game and was shocked to see how packed their building was. Then I saw Leaf fans.
It's hard to tell because all the jerseys look the same. No problem, Hugh. Anytime. I like Lawton, but I don't like him enough to put the C on him.
Dylan saying you could be a Leafs fan. That's worse than a Flyers fan, I think. Being a Flames fan has sucked every year outside of 2004, 2015, 2019, and this year. To be fair, Dylan, I was rooting for the Flames in 2004. I really wanted them to beat the Lightning. Not only because the Lightning beat the Flyers to get into that Stanley Cup final, but also because Jerome McGinley was the captain of the Flames at that time.
Yeah, I love that 2004 Stanley Cup series, though. I thought that was that was like a physical battle, battle. If you had Jerome McGinley and Vinny LeCavalier throwing fists, who would have thought those two would have ever gone at it? That was a great series. And
that was,
2007
man.
was even better.
Very fitting that it went to 7 games, too.
Oh, absolutely. Hugh wants us to rate Hart from 1 to 10. I'd give him an 8.5.
What, for who again?
I get Carter Hart. He wants. I guess he wants to know what our rating for him is.
Oh,
for the year so far.
I would say 8.5. Yeah, you know what, Brian? I think you got it right. I think 8.5 would definitely sum it up.
Really good.
Yeah,
hasn't been spectacular. He's let up a few softies throughout the year.
True,
but for the most part, a lot of the goals that he has let up, I can't fault him for most of them. That defense is just bad in front.
Yeah, it leaves him out to dry all the fucking time.
That was a great play by Sealer on Tarasenko on that 3-on-1.
Yeah.
That was going to be a goal.
Dylan said the goal was back in 2004. That infamous moment where they did not have replay back then for those. Hugh saying strong grade, guys. Yes, definitely a strong grade on that, and honestly, he deserves it. You know, Hart deserves to get a strong grade, even with all the shit that has been going on here. It's not really his fault.
Hugh, what would you give him?
Yeah, we would like to hear your opinion on that.
Absolutely. This is why we do what we do here. We're for the people here. We definitely want to know your opinions as well. It's not just about us here.
Let's rate the most hated Flyers contracts. JVR, Hayes, Yandel, keep it going. Hayes wins this all day. He is winning this right the fuck now. Yes, JVR is currently right now because he's playing, but it's Hayes for me all day long. No question about it. I'm giving that one a goddamn 10.
Because I got to give it to JVR. I got to give it to JVR. Because at least with Hayes, you get a two-way player out of it. JVR, you get a one-way guy who doesn't know how to do shit, who's super streaky, that doesn't even play his style anymore.
I know, right? Oh, God. It's bad. Hugh's saying an 8, so he's kind of in the same ballpark.
I like it.
Yeah. So let's see. Dylan saying Game 7 again. Less snapping at the ref after the BS boarding call was a rage I've never seen from Miggy. That was a captain there. Don't know one person who dislikes Iginla. Class act all around, and the reason I became a Flames fan.
I love him.
A good
I have
reason.
His jersey.
That's true. I had always wished that he had played for the Flyers again, because I would have loved it. Unfortunately, he played for the Penguins. But still, I would have loved to have seen him in a Flyers jersey or. You know, I just love seeing him in general.
I would have loved to see him get one more crack at a Stanley Cup before he was. I don't want to necessarily say forced to retire, but before he wound up retiring.
Chris, what do you mean you don't remember any spectacular saves from Hart? Hart makes them almost per game, he makes spectacular saves. What the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, let's be real. Any save he makes with the defense in front of him is spectacular.
Yeah.
No, he's made a few. I mean, I can't name them off the top of my head, but I know he's made a few. It's a long season. They
He
come
had
and go.
I believe it was not against Panthers, but I think it was against the Bruins. He had that beautiful glove save. It was a wide open shot. I think it was Marchand or Pastrnak took it, and he reached out and snagged it with his glove and just barely managed to get it on the stretch. I mean, there were plenty of saves that he has made that have been fucking beautiful for this season. It's just a shame the team sucks in front of him.
What is going on in the chat here that everybody's betting money?
I don't know.
What is Don
They
up
say
to?
if it's $100, no thanks. It doesn't. Okay, hold on. I got to read this back. Where?
Oh, we got to go back. I think it starts with Frank.
Oh
Frank
no.
up
Okay,
to?
so here's Don. I will give everybody in the chat $100 if the Flyers score a goal. Oh, I see.
Does that include us?
Unfortunately,
$20.
no. Rob's included in that. Unfortunately, well, actually, Brian, I think you were in the chat. So yeah, it does. It just doesn't include me. That's all right. No one likes to give me money anymore.
We're leading the chat. God damn it! Why is everybody saying Mark Howe? What is going on in this chat right now?
Are they talking about great D-men? Because I mean, obviously, that's.
Well, yeah, he's got his number retired.
Yeah, but
Think about who his father was. Father, uncle, father. Yeah, father.
I'm trying.
What
to,
is going
yeah,
on
his
right
father.
now?
His father. It was his father. I'm just trying to think where the Mark Howe thing came from.
That's what I'm looking for right now. What is going on right now?
I don't know. Oh, okay. Here, hold on a sec. Is this it? I wonder how the Flyers.
I have a oh, I got you. I see it now. It's Frank. He said I have a question in honor of 222-22. Who was the better of the 2 and 22, Mark Howe or Rick Tocchet?
Oh, Mark Howe. Mark Howe. No offense to Tocchet, but it's Mark Howe.
Frank says it's not my fault.
Apparently it is.
It's always your fault, Frank.
The Don says you have to be in the chat, so that's his way of saying "fuck you, Brian." You're not getting anything.
I got my. I don't know if I actually was in the chat yet today, but if it wasn't for us, there would be no chat.
And then he says,
Frank,
"Frank, saying, thanks, gang. I disappear." Thanks, Frank, for causing that chaos. And then Chris saying, "No, Dominic Hasek type says he's just solid with a shot defense.
With the shit defense.
With a shit defense." I don't.
There's no player like Dominic Hasek anymore. You know, you got the hybrid.
He was
you don't
unique.
have those guys that are going to drop and stack the pads like he used to. I get what you're saying now. Like, but you're not going to see that anymore. It's very. I don't want to necessarily say it's not bland. It's not like blah. It's not vanilla type of goaltending, but it's not like that. It's not like that.
Every goalie does the same thing.
Anymore.
Every goalie has pretty much the same similar style of a hybrid of the butterfly. Whereas back in Hasek's day, there was still stand-up goaltending. There were still goalies who were using old style. And he was standing out because he was using the European butterfly style goaltending. So it was very different because it hadn't fully transitioned to the NHL yet. And eventually it did. I mean, more goalies were starting to use it, but
Dominic Hasek was very lucky on a lot of those saves.
He was too. He was
so good. Top three.
Yeah, and Benny's right.
Sure.
Hart made some saves in the bubble, and yes, the Flyers scored. There we go.
Thank God I wasn't talking. We're changing the trend here.
Yes, it's when
I didn't get cut off again.
Yes, you didn't. Great. So, and I believe it is Oscar Lindblom. Good for Lindblom. He gets himself a goal. That's what I'm fucking talking about. He unfortunately he didn't get that one where he had that 2-on-1 chance. Oh, it might have deflected on.
I think that's Lawton.
It might be Superman. Superman may have just earned everybody $100.
Hey, except for me, but I'm not a traitor. You son of a bitch. I'm the man. Well, I shouldn't say I'm the man.
Nope. I don't actually. It didn't hit Lawton. It missed him completely. It didn't even hit his stick. It's Lindblom's goal. So there you go.
Hang on. I need a better angle than that.
They showed a better angle.
Here we go. I still didn't see it.
There should be. It should be.
Nope, not Lawton. Yeah, it's going to 23.
Yeah, so Lindblom. Good job.
Yes, you all get paid. Don.
Do we get
The
paid
number
now?
you have reached is no longer in service.
Don must.
Don, you owe everybody in the chat, apparently except for me and Maddie, $100.
Yes, you do. That includes Rob, by the way.
I think he was expecting a shutout.
He was. Oh, son of a bitch. Well, no surprise. The Blues just scored with Tarasenko. So, well, with normal situation. Chris say, good, trade him.
Trade him now.
If you say Sanheim with the assist. You mean Sanheim with the assist on that goal from Tarasenko?
Oh, Tarasenko. That was a great diving effort there.
Yeah, right through the 5-hole of Jones there. And then he tripped up Brophy on the way over.
No penalty call? No, I'm just kidding.
Rob was saying, what a night to miss the show. Yeah. Benny's shit.
What do you mean? You're getting $100 from Don. You ain't going to get it if you were on the show. Can I get a better view, please? Thank you.
All right. So, as part for the course, the Flyers work very hard to tie the game up. They then immediately give the goal back because the Flyers don't know how to do anything right except trip over their own dick, as we've said plenty of times, because that's all the Flyers know how to do.
God, you ain't unsubscribing. You better stop it.
You better not unsubscribe, Don. You better not.
He said see you. Bye.
He said see you guys. Don's like that. Don's like that guy who makes those freaking loan shark deals, and now he's running away from everyone.
Yeah, absolutely. He does. I'm out. You go back there to click. Do you think the office is completely empty? They're out.
Yeah.
They're out.
Benny,
we love having you in the chat, man. So hit that like, hit that subscribe, brother, if you haven't already, man. We'd love to have you in the chat more often.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's see here. Benny's saying Ratcliffe was lazy on that. Yeah, that was a bad defensive breakdown. Again, what a shock. The Flyers had a defensive breakdown the moment they score a goal.
You give Ratcliffe a little bit of a break there. He's not a defenseman.
That's a good point. And then,
my bank account? My bank account's empty, unfortunately. That's why I was banking on that 100 from Don, and then he called me a traitor, said I'm not a man of the people, which I'm not. I'm the man of the people on Tuesdays at what time is it? It's 9:15.
And Don at the same
Tuesdays at 9:15.
But Don's like pulling off one of those, slickster deals, those snake oil salesman like deals where he's trying to back out of it now that it's come true. He's going to come back and he's going to say, well, the Flyers had to win. And I'm going to say bullshit because you said if they score a goal. You did not say whether they won or not.
I'm not hating that the Flyers are running the cycle right now. Get somebody in front. You just scored a goal that way. Why do they do this?
And then the annoying part is, too,
they get away from it when they score a goal.
And the annoying part is, too, they have somebody in front of the net, but now no one recovers the puck after the first shot after it got stopped in traffic. It's like, you got to get the secondary chances.
There's a good opportunity here. Oh, good shot by TK there. Good shot selection. He had the shot.
Okay. Yeah, 2 years ago today, the Maple Leafs lost to a Zamboni driver. Really? On this day? Wow. Nice.
Yeah, the David Ayers or whatever his name was. He to be the emergency backup.
Nice. That's a pleasant memory. I mean, for us in hockey fans, and for him and his family and everything, but not for the Leafs.
the Hurricanes were all about it. They were all about him.
And the best part is that the
form and everything, they drenched him in something. I guess it was soda or something.
Something like that. And the Leafs, I think, actually employed him. So that's the even better part of it, which is even funnier. But Krista, show me the money. Don saying, hey, I want everybody to stare at this metal pin like the one from the Bet in Black to erase everybody's memory.
Yeah, right. We're going to take a picture real quick. Hang on.
Cash app. Oh, that's
Hold on, I got to take everybody's picture before I give them $100.
Yeah. Prism saying, Don, I'm going to send my 93-year-old grandma to give you a gum. And then she'll collect the 100. Oh, my God. That's fucking brilliant. And Rob's like, oh, my. You hit a line when Rob's going, oh, my. Oh, my God. That's great. Although, compared to some of the shit I've said, that's pretty tamed. But let's see.
Gross.
Dylan said, I wonder if the Flyers will complain to the league to make the nets bigger because they can't hit a shot. You know what? I wouldn't be surprised. And Donda saying, I just threw up. And then Hugh saying, I will put it towards a Superman jersey. Hey, you know what? You need to give Hugh freaking money now, Don. He wants to put it towards a Superman jersey.
Go to Cool Hockey. I know they're not. We shouldn't promote them, but go to Cool Hockey. Like they do the best quality. If you don't already know that, I don't know where to get.
I got my last couple of jerseys from there. I got my heart one.
It's worth the money you pay for it, and you get it pretty quick too. Surprisingly, I was very surprised how quickly I got mine. They say 2 weeks. I got it in less than a week.
Yeah, they give you the fight strap too. They give you the whole damn thing. You know, freaking. Yeah, Reebok didn't do it. This one. You know, Reebok didn't do it, and I don't even think the next one after Reebok.
Get the hand stitch too. Like this is all hand stitch.
Hand
stitch. All of it. The 25.
Pris, it's called getting a gummy bear.
Gumby bear. That's gross.
Gumby bear. I love it.
Damien's like, for your life, my brother.
Oh, even better. Gummy.
At the worst possible
even
time.
Better. Gummy bear. Damien saying, "Hey guys, what's up, Damien? I'm so sorry, brother. You have to pick a better time to come in." And Don saying, "Wow, bad news, Chad. I didn't receive my income tax, so you might have to wait a little bit longer." It's all right though. I'm sure they're just gonna they're gonna make sure that they have your address and phone number ready to go. Have it on speed dial.
Look at Lawton sitting there talking to his team. Let's say, hey, let's go. I got a plan. Follow me. I got you.
Yes, follow Superman. He will not steer us wrong. And Chris saying, to me, Zach McEwen.
The only other person I would consider throwing in there is Jerry Mayhew. Yeah. It's the only other person I consider throwing in there for MVP, especially over the last month, couple weeks.
Every game with balls.
Check that. Who frick am I? Jim Rome? Stop.
Maybe. I don't know.
Jim Rome. I hate him. Check that. I despise him. Check that.
I guess you didn't watch the Jim Rome is Burning show back on the ESPN.
Oh, days. I hated him. I'm glad he's on CBS now. I don't have to worry about seeing his face anymore. I love when South Park made fun of him. I was like, "Yup, he deserves every bit of that." What do we got going on here? We got you seen how many Bens for this chat? Right now, he's only probably looking to spend like $1,000.
Yeah, about that.
1,200 if he wants to throw me and Maddie in, which we should because he wouldn't be able to do it without us.
True. Waiting for the Ticks to drop for the game next Tuesday against the Oilers, just to boo McDavid all night.
You see, he's one guy I haven't seen yet live that I would love to see live. I would love to just see. Just experience him live. It sounds terrible, but just hear me out. I just want to experience McDavid live.
I want to experience McDavid.
See how fast he truly is. See how just see
Brian. You just see Brian up in the nosebleeds, just like
got my binoculars.
You just see him in the
nosebleeds. Look at the hands.
Just like those hands, McDavid. Man, you stride so perfectly when you skate.
He's got the nickname McJesus for a reason. He's the best player in the world right now. I don't care what anybody else says.
Oh.
Although most would agree with me.
Oh my God, Prism! She says she's getting her depends back to Jack's back. Put her on the Greyhound in the morning. Goddamn, Briz, that's a little harsh. You're putting her on the freaking Greyhound. You got to step up a little bit on those, brother. I mean, this is Don we're talking about. Red carpet treatment. You got to send her on first class, bro.
Yeah.
Anyway. Don't be cheap on that one, Don. Anyway, as you, it's like teeth don't fail me now.
Dylan, as a Ducks fan, I want to boo him all night because remember we're on the same division, my friend.
I mean, I don't have to boo him since luckily he's on the Western Conference. Although he probably would be terrorizing the Sharks, and there's a penalty coming up on St. Louis.
He terrorizes everybody he plays.
That's true. That's a good point. Him and Cristal.
Listen, Draisaitl.
Draisaitl.
Listen, say what you want. Draisaitl is my dude. Like, I love what he said to that reporter that one day. That made my day because he told it like it was. He was like, but seriously, he was like, It was like, what do you need to change? Everything. He's like, but I'm like, no but. We need to change everything. We suck at every aspect of the game right now. Why are you pissy? Why do you think I'm pissy?
I love the
We're on
report.
a losing streak right now. Of course he's going to be pissy, but come on.
I love how the reporter was just goading him the entire
He
time.
was. That's exactly what he
It's
was
like-
doing. He was goading him the entire time. He was goading him the entire, like, stop it.
Fucking reporters, man. I think Voracek said it best. It's like, you're such a fucking weasel.
Most of them are. And this is like that. This is that same dry side. It's the dry side with the reporter. It's the same situation, because this guy was a guy who he's like, you know everything already. You already know everything. You're gonna write what you write. So I'm just gonna sit here. I gave you an answer. You can either take the answer or it's not good enough. It's the same thing with Voracek did with what's his face. Call him a fucking weasel. He's like, you're gonna write what you're gonna write anyway. So you're gonna twist my words regardless. So that's the relationship between reporters and players these days. Like, because now you don't really necessarily have that same relationship anymore, because you don't need to have that same relationship anymore. You know, we don't see that relationship with players and reporters that, like, say Chris Pronger had. You know, Chris Pronger knew every reporter on a personal level.
He did.
What's up, Tommy?
What's up, Tommy? Don't ask what the chat is talking about.
Ducks. Stop it, Vraska. Ovi ain't going nowhere. He just signed a 5-year extension with the freaking Capitals. You better knock your stuff off.
And Dylan say, but we're the rival. Battle of Alberta, plus he trashes us every day.
Of course, I get it. It's always a little extra in the Battle of Alberta. And 9 times out of 10, I'm probably going to wind up cheering for Calgary in the Battle of Alberta.
Well, yeah, they are the underdog.
It depends who if I need Calgary to lose or not, which lately I do. So.
Now, I will say this, though. I mean, I'm happy to see that the Battle of Alberta now has finally gotten some life back into it. You know what I mean? For a long time, it wasn't really anything, because Edmonton was rebuilding for a long time. Calgary had its spurts of success there, and then it fell apart, and then they had to rebuild. So I'm happy to see that we're starting to see the Battle of Alberta come back now and actually have something going for it. Not that it ever truly died or anything like that. It's just, it's good to see a rivalry get back up and going, you know, possibly for some future playoff matchups or whatever.
Well, and that's exactly what this one's going to be this year, because Edmonton's fallen off since the beginning of the season. So they're battling to get back into position. You know, you got the Ducks playing well, the Kings are playing well, Flames are doing what they do. Flames got a little bit better getting Tyler Toffoli.
Yeah.
So they gotta be able to compete. And I don't think they got better with Evander Kane. I think they're still stagnant. And I think we're going to see them be a little active at the trade deadline as well. I'm sorry, I'm just reading Dylan's comment real quick. Yeah, I agree. They are definitely hurting after not paying Markstrom. A lot of teams are. Vancouver's, I think, is one of those teams. Like, I like Arthur Demko. I think he's going to be a good goalie. He needs to develop a little bit more, but yeah, not going after Markstrom and going with Mike Smith and Mikko Koskinen is a problem in and of itself. And to me, I don't think their defense is good enough. I like a couple of the pieces in there, but as a unit, it's not good enough. Like, I like Darnell Nurse. I hate him, but I like him. I hate him because he's good. Tyson Barry's starting to find his footing again after leaving Toronto. Or was it Toronto? Sorry, it was Colorado, where he was at the top of his game, and then going to Toronto, then going to Edmonton. He's starting to find his game back playing with Darnell Nurse. So there's pieces there. His GM just doesn't know how to put it all together. You know, you got your offense, and then I guess they try to compensate for the lack of defense and putting it on offense and expecting to beat teams 7-4, 7-5. So,
I mean, opportunity there from Risto. He got a really good shot there. And Bennington stretched out, though, and made the save with his glove. Flyers had some chances on that power play. Giroux. He pulled. He told one of the players to move up because he was going to try and do that bank off the backboards, but he shot it on the glass and it flew wide. I'm like, don't you just hate that when that shit don't work out?
Robbie, I'm with you, bro. Nobody in front. You got to have somebody out in front. And Priz, I agree. He's not a terribly young defenseman. I need to see him. He's got a lot of potential. I like Bouchard. He just needs to develop a little bit more for me. He needs to take a step forward.
This is funny. Flames reporter Eric Francis hates Johnny Gaudreau, and Johnny's sister told him to go fuck himself, then deleted the tweet.
Seems about right. And that kind of just continues to prove my point about that. The relationship just isn't there. It's not as professional as it used to be.
And Hugh was saying, "Go Flyers." I do like that. Yeah, hopefully the Flyers can. Hopefully they can tie it up. They got about a minute 52, at least on my side.
I got 2:10. Wow,
then
am I that far behind you?
Yeah, apparently. Empty net for the Flyers. So we'll see if the Flyers can avoid the empty net nail in the coffin that they were not able to avoid in the last game that they lost in regulation against.
Is it weird that G reminds me of my brother? I think it's the beard. I think it's just the red beard because my brother's got a big, thick red beard too. So
Giroux?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he's everybody's brother. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh, what a chance. And they did have somebody in front of Markstrom, and it almost went in. Or Markstrom, Bennington. God damn it.
When did Markstrom get the same list?
Yeah. Oh, God damn it.
I mean,
All that talk about Markstrom, and it made me realize that he's not on the Blues. Oh, that was high. That should have been called. And that's an empty netter. God damn it.
I see what you're talking about there. Okay, I just got to that point. Provy had a good opportunity there.
Yeah, Barbashev just put it home, so that's it for tonight. Damn it. Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how they didn't get called on Parayko there. Oh, even there too. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, this one right here on, right there. That friggin' butt end of the stick right in the face of JVR right there. That should have been called.
Yeah, that was not only just a high stick, that looked like a cross check.
Yeah. Yeah, unfortunately, not called. Barbashev gets that loose puck, and he puts it right back into the...
really like Igor Barbashev. He's a good young player. Oh, no, it wasn't a cross check, but it was definitely a fist in the face there.
Yeah, Dylan was saying there was a high stick no call there. So he was thinking high stick on that one.
Either that or Parayko looked like he got away with a high stick down in behind the net.
Yeah. The Flyers can't score on a 6'5" fat chick with a beard and hairy armpits. God damn.
Neither could I.
You need to do something about that. You need to go to Manscaped.
I use my Manscaped every day. I got the 4.0. I got the ball deodorant. I got the little Revive, a little spritz, a little. Every once in a while, you just gotta give a little spritz.
Yeah. Well, another deflating.
Deflating is definitely the word for it because they were in this game all night.
Yeah. But hey, old habits, right? Flyers worked hard to tie the game, and then literally not even a minute later, Tarasenko scored on them because of a defensive breakdown, and then eventually it leads to a power play opportunity the Flyers do not score on. Try to get something going again. Eventually empty the net. No call. Then Barbashev puts it in the back of the net. It's just routine at this point for the Flyers. Routine.
I mean, the Tarasenko goal, I don't want to necessarily blame Ratcliffe, but you got to have your head on a swivel there and know where he is at all times. He just kind of snuck right in there, and by the time it realized what it was, who it was too late.
It's just, it was still a defensive breakdown anyway because the puck got into the slot, and it's just like you got to prevent, passes from getting in there. You got to get sticks in there. You got to make it pretty much impossible to get shots in there. Sometimes they're going to squeak through, but you got to stop allowing it to happen, because eventually a team's going to make you pay for it, and they made them pay for it at the end of the day.
Like I said, this isn't the team you want to sleep on. This is a very, very good team, and they will wear you down.
And I
thought the Flyers played a good game for the most part.
Another empty netter, and this time for Brandon Saad.
Brandon Saad, when did he get to St. Louis?
In a trade. But
really? I thought he was traded to Colorado.
Yeah, I think he was in Colorado. I think Colorado sent him to St. Louis.
Oh, wow, that was a bad pass. That was a terrible pass.
Yeah, but it was a bad pass by Probe. He's not happy with himself on it, but what are you going to do?
This score does not you know, a lot of people are going to see the score and be like, "Oh man, they got fucking blown out."
They did
The
not.
score does not dictate how they played this game, and this was, for the most part, it was a very well played game here until the final couple minutes.
John does say, "Well, I'm getting sleepy, guys. See you. Stay safe and have a good night." You have a good night.
I don't know if he's being serious or not. I don't know if he's being facetious, but
he might be. He's got the smirks. Yeah, he's got the smirks on the side, so it might just be to get out of it.
I mean, could Tarasenko be on his way to Philly? Maybe. I'm just saying. We got a lot of rumors to cover.
We do have a lot of rumors. Weeks. We do. All right. So, yeah, that's the that happened. Next game is Saturday at 12:30 for the Flyers and the Caps. I don't know if you would want to watch that, honestly, but that's the next game.
Believe it or not, I think the Flyers tend to play the Caps really well. Except, I mean, despite what happened in the last game, they played a very good. They played a very good game against the Capitals until the final. What was it, like five minutes? There's some reason this Flyers team in the last few minutes of these games here, they give up goals.
Yeah,
Hugh, appreciate it. Like I said, hit that like, hit that subscribe. Come join us next week.
All right, then. So, let's see, guys. That's pretty much that. So, with that being said, we go into our third period sponsor. Who do we got there? Oh, thank you, Hugh. We appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Hugh. Yeah, we got a good group here, so we definitely check it out. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. We got 17 live shows that go off every week, so we got something for everybody.
Hold on, we got Pove.
This fucking team sucks.
Yeah, pretty much.
You work all that way to get the game tied, and you give up a goal less than a minute later. I get it. They got hemmed in the zone. They got tired. They took advantage of a young player with Tarasenko's goal, but that just screams either you're soft or we're collecting losses for a top draft pick. Thank you very much.
I mean, if you think about it, Pove, because you bring up a valid point there, it's been happening all season long. They would score, and then a minute, 2 minutes later, they lose the lead. I mean, we've seen it, especially since the All-Star break. They did it against Detroit in that first period, where they traded goals back and forth, literally seconds between them. And then they did it. I think they did it in Pittsburgh, and I believe they did it again with Detroit. So this has been a trend all season long where they just trade goals within a couple minutes. They'll work hard and bust their ass to get that tying goal or that go-ahead goal, and then they just give one right back up.
Yep.
It's rough, bro. It's been a tough season for sure. I don't even know where to go I just don't know where to go from here. If I'm the Flyers GM, you got to start making moves soon.
Yeah, well, trade deadline time, so I wouldn't be surprised if we start seeing them soon. So, Bri, why don't you hit us with that third period sponsor so we can wrap this bad boy up?
Yeah, as soon as we do that, I want to get Robbie's take on this game while we have him here. Third period is brought to you by FanUp is the best way to enjoy fantasy sports. Daily NBA contests and more. Win great prizes. Sign up today. You got to use promo code A2D for 5,000 bonus points up to a $50 value. You can also download the app, FanUp. So check them out. It's FanUp.
All right, then. So, Robbie, what you got for your recap of this game?
Well, first of all, great job tonight, boys. Sorry I couldn't be on for the full show with you, but sitting back, watching this game, watching with the chat over on YouTube. I am happy that, unlike my prediction earlier on in the game, the Flyers did match the physicality, of the Blues. They were trading puck battles, and it was a tight game. Again, another tightly contested game, to Brian's point earlier in the show, where this team's not getting blown out, but they just crumple in the worst situations possible. And we saw it again today. And it's nothing that's going to be new. I think Chuck Fletcher needs to get off his horse and start making calls now. I know Chris Dunn made that point in the YouTube chat. Like, why haven't Like, why are we waiting on the G move when you could be moving other players right now? Starting to collect picks. You're not making the playoffs. So it's just moral efforts. Don't collect paychecks.
Yeah, and to Selke's point, he goes a little further on to say after that, he feels the frustration. Flyers are playing decent, which they are. He says they could have won this game. They absolutely could have. They had scoring. They had plenty of scoring chances. They had plenty of opportunities. They couldn't find the finish. And it goes back to even a little bit further. Even coming out of the All-Star break, they could have beaten Detroit. They could have beaten Washington. They could have beaten Pittsburgh. They could have beaten St. Louis. They're playing well enough hockey to get these wins. They need to figure out ways to close these games out. And for me, I don't know if anybody else would agree, is you got to start with the defense. The defense has to be better. You can't continue to expect to, unless they're absolutely tanking, to figure out ways to win games and get back into this and find something positive to build off of for next year if you don't figure out ways to fix the problems now.
Yeah. It's that. Yeah, all you can say right now is just fuck. This team sucks.
You gotta go through these years, man. They'll be back up to the promised land. There is a young crop of good players on this team. We've highlighted several of them throughout this show. You collect more either through trade in terms of prospects from other teams, or with the draft, hopefully select better prospects that way. And you can turn this around. I mean, we say it every week. We've seen teams like Brian's Anaheim Ducks, New York Rangers, Detroit Red Wings, turning it around in quick fashion.
Yeah, you can throw the LA Kings in there too to further your examples. I know people don't believe it. I know Chris doesn't believe it, and I know Ryan doesn't believe it. But I really don't believe this team is too far off. Do they still need help? Yeah, absolutely. Clearly, they need help. And I think a lot of it has to do with getting younger. I mean, the Flyers could be a competitive team in 2 years, in my opinion, because they have, you have Tyson Forster, who's a shooter. Hold on to Cam Atkinson, he's a shooter. A healthy Joel Farabee could be a 30-goal scorer for this organization. Jay O'Brien is another guy who could be a really good two-way player for this organization in the middle six, leaning more towards the second line with his potential. And then you bring in a guy like Bobby Brinks. Brinks is leading the NCAA in scoring by a lot.
Yeah.
And he's a Flyers prospect. And in his draft, he was considered one of the best scorers in the draft. And the Flyers, I believe, got him in the third round. So, there's potential here. But the problem is you got veteran guys clogging up the pipeline, and some of these guys aren't getting chances, and then Brinks hasn't even signed his ELC yet. So, which necessarily isn't a bad thing, but you got to figure out ways to get these younger guys in the lineups. And I love guys like Gary Mayhew. Keep him, put him on the fourth line. Keep McEwen, put him on the fourth line. Figure out ways to open up the second and third spots on the second and third lines and let some of these young guys play. You got to start moving guys.
Dylan does have an interesting point here to make. The longer the Flyers wait, the more cap space opens up for these teams. Flames can free up, I think, $2 million or so by the deadline. So that's an interesting point to throw out there.
Mm-hmm.
Very good point. Very good point. And to Brian's point too, I mentioned to him briefly to you guys in the chat, Noah Cates, who had a great Olympics, playing for Minnesota right now, eventually coming and getting another brotherly pair in the city of brotherly love. There's a lot of talent in this pipeline, and a lot more that help turn this thing around.
Yeah, absolutely. And a lot of people want to trash the pipeline, and I kind of get it, because there's really not a lot down there, but there's enough. There's enough to change this team's direction quickly. It's just a matter of, like I said, just freeing up some space. Like I like Oscar, but I give him one more year. If he doesn't, I ship him out. Lawton, I hold on to. Atkinson, I hold on to. Obviously, we don't know. G's a huge question mark. Does he go? Does he stay? What reports are we hearing? What ones are true? What ones aren't?
Mhm.
A healthy Couturier helps. A healthy Kevin Hayes helps. A healthy Joel Farabee helps. So, and that's the other thing too is so many of these key players are out, and sometimes we use the injuries as an excuse. But if we look at the injury bug right now, we have 2 fourth lines on this roster right now, and a lot of that is because of injury. Do you see Jerry Mayhew if everybody else is here? No. Does he have 6 goals in the last 2 weeks? No. Do you see? I mean, to Chris's point earlier, I love Zach McGowan. I think he's one of the most consistent players out there because he's going to give you everything he's got every game. You're seeing it from Mayhew. Mayhew is playing with some legit confidence right now because he's finding ways to get in front of the net. And that's something that the Flyers aren't doing enough of either, is getting guys in front, blocking the goaltender. They allowed Binnington to see too many shots. And then they rush shots as well. And it causes the puck to go where they don't want it to go. They don't allow it to sit up. If these guys are legit snipers and goal scorers, even if you let Binnington get set, you can pick a spot and hit it. And they're not doing that. They're just rushing shots. They're trying to look for the pretty play when it's not even there.
Plus, with those two gentlemen, now you throw Patrick Brown back in the fold, coming back from injury. He's a guy with a good net presence, really fits the system well. It'd be a nice fourth line to keep together because they see off each other well, but Mayhew's even getting opportunities higher up on the food chain.
As he should, because he's been playing really well over the last few games. Who was it that he scored 2 goals for? It was against Pittsburgh, wasn't it? Was it not?
No, it was against
Washington?
Yes, it was against Washington.
You're right. It was against Washington. Yep. It's just crazy because, like, I know, Ryan completely disagrees with me on this, but I really feel like this team is not far off from being a playoff contender again.
Yeah, clear up that log jam of bets that, move on to a new core. And yeah, you could turn it around in 2 or 3 seasons, 4 seasons.
Oh, absolutely. I would say, if it's done right, I'd say 2 years max.
Yes. Cool.
Oh, all right then. So with that, was there anything you guys wanted to say in terms of anything around the league? I know I said earlier to Bribe I didn't have anything. Rob, was there anything you wanted to bring up that had happened around the NHL?
No, I'm good. I just wanted to say what up, boys. I know I don't like to lower our broadcast by coming off the phone for a full show, but rocking off the phone. I should have my laptop back from the shop later this week, so hope to be back on full scale next week with you boys. And I don't know. And basically, in terms of around the sporting world, if you want to say that, I got an interesting hot take to leave you all on. I think the Stanley Cup will be awarded before we see a Major League Baseball game this year.
Huh.
With the way it's going, it wouldn't surprise me one bit, and it breaks my heart.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, real quick, Robbie, you're a little more wrapped up in that world right now. Are they saying anything about whether or not the minor league games are going to be affected by this, or is it just a major league?
No, minor league camps they've commenced, and the only thing is they're trying to scale in terms of roster size for these minor league teams. That's one issue for contention with the CBA. I don't believe their season will be affected, but it's based on them being able to report to camps and what have you. That'll be an interesting take to see what happens there. Though I'm not entirely sure.
All right, I was just curious. I'll explain why.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. So with that, Robbie, we thank you, brother, and obviously we'll see you next week. And we'll do it up. Hold on, let me check. See what we got here. Do we have a game? I do think we do, don't we? Do
Pretty
we?
sure we do. I mean, it seems like we seem to have one every week now.
Yes, we do. March 1st. Or
See, this
no,
is why I wanted to move to Tuesdays, boys.
Yeah. So, oh, I'm sorry. Sorry, I was a little bit too ahead, wasn't I? Oh no, I was right. Yeah,
No,
March
you're right.
1st, we got the Oilers. They'll be coming to town.
Oh,
McKeever.
Dylan.
Yep.
We can have you boo with us.
Yep. So McJesus and his apostle Leon Draisaitl gets to come with us. They'll be competing against the Flyers next week. So we'll see how that handles. Hopefully, maybe Smith will have a really shitty game that night, and the Flyers could get a win. Maybe.
Wow, Nashville upset Florida.
Hey, Dylan, look for me booing McDavid at the game.
Boo this man. Boo.
Boo this man.
All right, so Brian, you got another sponsor for us to go and close ourselves out with?
Yes, sir. We're going to close this one out here with specialized physical therapy. Usually we use this for our shootout. We're going to use this to close it out tonight since we don't have the shootout. Go check out our doc, making yours. I'm going to get this eventually, I promise. Dr. Paul Vidal, Specialized Physical Therapy, 2 locations, one in Burlington, one in Cherry Hill. He's our doc, making yours. I made him my doc once. Had a little bit of a shoulder issue. Great experiences there. Nothing bad to say about it. They did a great job. My shoulder feels great. When it does bother me, because of Allie and because of Carrie, I know what to do to strengthen my muscles up, to loosen myself up. They don't just help you, they educate you. So go ahead. If you're in the Cherry Hill area, head on over. If you're in the Burlington area, head on over. That's Dr. Paul Vidal. That's Specialized Physical Therapy. Head on over to specializedphysicaltherapy.com.
All right, then. And with that, one last sponsor, of course, is our show sponsor, none other than Manscaped. Just want to leave that there for everybody. 20% off with the A2D code. What is it that they ladies don't like there, Brian?
Got to get rid of that junk funk, gentlemen.
Absolutely. Make sure you get rid of that, because if you don't, ladies ain't going to love you. All right, then. So we will see you guys next week right here on A2D Radio. The Flyers versus the Oilers. And, we'll see if the Flyers can beat McJesus and Draisaitl. Hopefully they can. We'll see if they will. That'll be next week right here on A2D. What?
Real quick.
What?
We hooked another. For those of you that aren't following A2D yet, why aren't you following? Bryce Harper does.
Yeah.
Big Play Slay follows us. Why don't you hit that like, hit that subscribe? Let's go. 17 live shows a week.
That's right. We cover everything. So
And we are everywhere.
Mhm.
So, Spotify, SoundCloud, Apple, wherever you get your podcasts. If you can't catch us live, catch us on podcast. Let's go. Hit that like, hit that subscribe.
Don't forget about invade today, too.
Yeah, let's go.
That's true. All right, guys. We'll see you next week. Flyers versus Oilers. Until then, I'm Matt Sassuti with the Darkwing Brian Daley, and joining us via the phone line, none other than the broken one, Rob Povia. We will see you guys next week right here on A2DRadio.com. Peace and love, everyone.
They may have the Jesus, but we have the Jesus.